that lets everyone know where it came from, Lee Michaels. They only sell beautiful diamonds, and that red box makes it that much more special. So next time you're trying to impress the lady in your life, trust me, you're going to win with Lee Michaels. LMFJ.com.
Picture your dream bathroom. Got it? How about making it happen with David Duvall and One Bath and Closets? For more than 3 decades, David's been remodeling homes with a concentration on the most popular room in your home, your bathroom. Whether it's a tub to shower conversion or a complete renovation, the great thing about One Bath and Closets is that David handles everything. One company, one contractor, One Bath and Closets. Check out the gallery of his most recent projects and schedule your free in-home consultation online at onebathandclosets.com. That's onebathandclosets.com.
Brandon Holly here. Did you know Relief Windows is the window, door, hardy plank, and vinyl siding and interior shutter headquarters of the Gulf South? That's right. For nearly 20 years, we have provided you with a lifetime guarantee. Relief from the heat, cold, storms, and sun. So go where thousands have gone to upgrade the exterior and the interior of their homes. ReliefWindows.com. That's ReliefWindows.com.
Hey golfers, you know that winning is all about the short game, mastering the chip shot and putting for birdies. Get that edge just like the pros do on a custom-built synthetic golf green from Louisiana Turf Company. They are perfectly designed and built to roll true, accept all shots, and react like real bent golf greens. For serious golf practice and hours of enjoyment, it's Louisiana Turf Company. Visit us online, louisianaturf.com. That's louisianaturf.com.
Great. Your windshield cracked. Now what? Call Advanced Windshield. You have things to do. That's why they come to you. Advanced Windshield is the leading mobile, auto glass, and camera calibration provider in our area. Call 225-248-6788 or visit advancedwindshield.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Tuesday, August 27th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 96. In hour one of today's show, we'll continue our discussion of LSU USC as they head towards their Week 1 matchup, and we'll talk Week 1 college football as a whole. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
They said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in to a brand new episode of OTB. Brand new day, Tuesday, August 27th. Wow. Why can't I figure out these headphones? Almost.
Beat 'em up headphones.
Almost to football, not football season, almost to September. Sorry, I'm all frazzled. Can't figure out these headphones, guys. It just took me I've unplugged them 5 times trying to get them in. What's up, everybody? There's going to be a great show today. We are one step closer to LSU, USC, and Vegas. We are one step closer to a full-on Week 1 of college football that features plenty of massive games that will shake the very foundations of the college football earth. What's up, guys? How we feeling today? What's up, Jake? See, we got the Pearl Snaps back, a little LSU-themed light purple pearlies. Let's
lilac?
go, dude.
Is that what we'd call this color?
Yes. I would not have thought of that, but now that you said it out loud, that feels like lilac.
Yeah, it's game week. And so I was walking out of the house, and Katie's like, why are you so dressed up? And I'm like,
you got a photo shoot? Last time you did.
I can appreciate that me just putting on a Pearl Snap with joggers is dressed up on brand. I was like, you know what? It's game week. And also, Colt McCoy sent me these fantastic shirts. I'm going to make sure that, I wear them as much as I can. They're comfortable. I love a good Pearl Snap. And so here we are.
Hell yeah. So no photo shoot because last time you wore a
Had school
pearl
pictures,
snap,
yeah.
somebody asked the bench, said, what are you going to high school pictures? And, well, he nailed it because you actually were.
I was.
You were
I had
taking
new
shots.
headshots. The ones that SiriusXM took of me at the Super Bowl looked like I had done 9 straight hours of radio, and I'm like, okay, we got to get some more of those. I don't know about that one. And then Katie confirmed, we don't need that out there. So I was like, harsh, but truth.
Damn, I don't need that out there? Shoot.
No. No. I wholeheartedly want that kind of feedback. I need the truth. And I can handle the truth, Jack.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that. Well, I don't know. It could be true, but at the same time, I'm sure it didn't look as crazy as maybe you thought it did. But either way, the new ones look great, so it doesn't really matter. Alondra, what's up? How are we feeling today?
Feeling
good?
great, yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. We decided that today we're going to go around the room for bump music.
Okay,
and
cool.
whatever song hypes you up.
Ugh.
So what song gets you going?
Okay, cool. I'll try my best.
Think about it. I'm telling you
like
now
y'all
so
are
you can
already
think about
going
it.
to like disagree and get like angry with me, but that's fine.
No?
That's fine. Yeah, this will be fun.
It's very subjective, and that's okay.
Tay-Tay. Oh, look at Tay-Tay. He just walked in here floating on a $134 million cloud. As CeeDee Lamb.
I didn't get that contract. Let's make that clear. If I did, I wouldn't be here.
Lamb has officially signed with the Dallas Cowboys, guaranteeing a morning full of coverage on ESPN for all of Cowboys Nation. Tay-Tay, how we feeling?
You know, T-Bob, I like to be honest about my team, and there were a lot of people saying, hey, Jerry Jones may not know what he's doing. Not me.
Yep.
Not me. I never doubted my guy. I knew he was going to get it done for us.
Jerry told you he's going to come through in the end. I do always wonder in these scenarios, I'm like, well, why didn't you just do this from the beginning? Because it does seem like
going to do it.
It seems like CD got everything that he wanted.
Yeah, it's like, well, how far off were you really?
But
one side or the other.
I'm not behind those closed doors. Maybe they were asking for more, and this is a compromise. I don't believe so, though. All right. So for today's show, I want to go through a little LSU USC history. We got some 3 bold predictions that were made for LSU in 2024. We'll make our own. I got some audio that I heard yesterday on Twitter, just a random clip that stuck with me forever, that will stick with me forever, and want to play that. We got OTB Mailbag coming up in hour 2. Some interesting Saints trade rumors, Nick Underhill, our Tay-Tay NFL story of the day, and a ton of college football news interspersed throughout. So please come kick it with us. Let's have some fun over the next 3 hours. YouTube.com/1045 ESPN. For now, let's get it started by going to the past.
It's time to get to work, courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help you take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters,
go to Tiger Labor and Staffing today, guys. If you need the right person for the job, Tiger Labor and Staffing is the turnkey service that can fulfill said needs. It could be same day. It could be everything from, industrial work to even clerical work, guys. And so whether you are looking for work or need someone to work, either way, you go to Tiger Labor and Staffing, and who knows, this could be something for 1 day, a week, 2, maybe even something permanent. But the bottom line, it all starts with the local guys who handle everything, all the paperwork. Like I said, turnkey, that's Tiger Labor and Staffing. Jake, so I don't know why, when I get in this morning, I'm thinking about the game, and I started thinking about
tonight. You woke up thinking about Beanville?
It's been for 2 or 3 weeks now.
Yes,
basically. But I started remembering back to John Ed Bradley's book, It Never Rains in Tiger Stadium.
Yep.
And that 1979 USC game that is so famous in LSU lore. And it kind of got me thinking, okay, well, what's the all-time series with LSU and USC? Guess what, guys? This Sunday in Las Vegas, it's a rubber match. A rubber match nearly 40 years, over 40 years in the making, right? LSU losers 17-12 in 1979 in Death Valley. LSU winners 5 years later in 1984, 23-3 in Los Angeles. So whoever wins on Sunday will have all-time series bragging rights, as well as settle any debate over who the true 2003 national champions were. But I want to talk a bit.
How about that? Only 2 matchups.
Only
huh?
2 matchups, that's what I'm saying.
For some reason, I thought it was more.
A 50-year rubber match. But so that sent me down a hole of looking up this 1979 game, and there are some there's some excellent stories surrounding this game. First off, let's talk about who USC was in 79. They were fresh off their 5th national championship in the last 15 years. So basically, a dynasty.
They were Georgia, Alabama.
Yes.
Yeah, championship level run.
One every 3 years.
Yeah.
They had just gone 12-1 in 78. And in a kind of funny twist of fate, they were actually co-national champions with Alabama. One was AP, one was coaches. Both were 12-1, but USC actually beat Alabama convincingly head-to-head in Birmingham. And to show you that
It's not that surprising.
Now that we're in the playoffs and it's a much better time, you can't just claim fake national championships. Alabama's still got a share for whatever reason. But USC, coming off a national championship, they're ranked number 1 in the country. How about this? They got Charles White as their running back. He was going to win the Heisman that season. They got Marcus Allen as their fullback.
Yeah.
And who's at tackle? NFL Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz. I mean, dogs. 12 first-round picks on the roster. And they choose to come to Death Valley at night in 1979. How about this? Not even televised. The game was not. It was on tape delay because of some weird broadcast rules where USC was going to be playing too many games on ABC or something. But there was no live televised broadcast of this legendary game, this number 1 team traveling to Baton Rouge at night, meaning the 78,000 psychos in the crowd were privy. I mean, what a weird thing to think about.
Yeah.
They were privy to something that nobody else could watch. You had to be there or you could not get eyes on the game until later when they would show it on tape delay on a new startup.
Imagine the legends that were spreading of the game.
Oh, immediately. And I read a lot of this in an old Tiger Rag article, but I do love that when it was eventually showed on tape delay, it was showed on a brand new channel, some sports network, ESPN, something. Who knows if it's going to work or not?
Yeah.
24/7 sports, very odd. So USC on Friday shows up for the game. LSU's having an insane pep rally. I think it was maybe outside the gates of Tiger Stadium. Maybe it was on the parade grounds. But either way, the USC buses show up for Friday to go to Death Valley and try to practice. What do the fans do? They surround the bus and won't let them off. It's true mob mentality. Will not let the Trojans off. The cops have to show up. They eventually clear away. The fans line up on either side, making a walkway for the players, yelling Tiger bait at them, trying to scare them as much as they can. How about this? At this time, students were still living in the dorms at Tiger Stadium. So from about Wednesday on, nobody went to class, nobody worked, nobody did anything except for party and play music. You could hear loud rock music spilling out of all the different dorm room windows. And then finally on game night, this is probably my favorite thing to think about. It's 1979, you know. So you got TV, you got magazines, National Geographic and whatnot. But I cannot fathom, and maybe they've had to at the zoo, but I'm sure that many of these USC players had never seen a live tiger before. Even in digital or print, it had to be a relatively rare occurrence. And yet, when they step outside their locker, there is Mike, a giant, angry Bengal tiger who's being poked and prodded into giving tiger roars. Jake, can you imagine 79? It's 7 p.m. It's humid as hell. You're from California. You were assaulted by the mob the day before. You step out, the lights are on. It's 78,000. You can't even hear yourself think. And then there's this massive, exotic big cat who is literally yelling in your face, looking like he wants to eat you.
No, I remember just talking to players that played here whenever Mike would, go around the field. He'd be outside the locker room, and they talked about just how intimidating it was, and something that you'll never see anywhere else. And at that time, you still didn't see it anywhere else. And so, no, certainly, and that was with the access to see it on TV and to kind of know about it and not only read about it but see it. Like back in 1979, you couldn't go up to YouTube and type in Mike the Tiger and see what it looked like. Now, nothing prepares you for an actual live Bengal tiger in a small cage when you walk out, but still, like in 1979, they had never even seen it. They had no idea.
So here it is, USC's walking out, freaking Big Cat yelling at him. Bunch of psycho drunk Louisianians all throughout the stands. Coach John Robinson, who would later play a role in the 2019 LSU National
Lives here
Championship.
in Baton Rouge still.
Coach John Robinson, head coach of USC at the time, said it was the loudest stadium he's ever been in. So loud, his assistant next to him couldn't even hear what he was saying. And it looked like they were going to have something to celebrate. As Steve Ensminger gets the night started with a touchdown pass. Old Slinger taking a 6-0 lead. Early in the third quarter, a field goal would push the lead to 12-3. However, in that fourth quarter, number one ranked USC, you know how these, the favorites tend to do in these games when an upset bid is in play. It's not about how you start, it's about can you finish. And LSU was right on the edge. So USC scores, LSU gets the ball back. They give the ball back to USC, Jake. And on 3rd and long, it looks like there's a sack that would basically end the game, right? It would have been 4th and a mile. However, a hand grazes the face mask. And this is at a time before the incidental face mask penalty was in existence. You only had the 15-yard variety. Next thing you know, 15-yarder, first down, extends the drive, and USC scores a touchdown to take a 17-12 lead with 32 seconds to go. And LSU falls to the number one team in the entire country. It's a weird year. They were going to finish 7-5, but they would have a 3-0 loss to number one Alabama. It was like a bunch of super close games. They just couldn't quite find a way. And who knows what would have happened had they found a way on that humid night in September of 79. But either way, Munoz, Allen, those guys remembered their trip to Baton Rouge for all time. And it was one of the greatest games, if that could be said about a game that ends in a loss, one of the greatest games in LSU football and Death Valley's history.
You know it's a great game whenever you, had a loss and you still talk about it almost 50 years later. Any old head that you talk to, older head that you talk to brings that game up. Like any time that you want to have the conversation, what's the greatest game in Tiger Stadium history? Is it 97 Florida, 03 Georgia, 07 Florida? They're like, hold up, young buck. Don't forget about the 79 USC game. And you're like, man, that's a loss. It's like, doesn't matter. Like, sure, you lost the game, but we're talking environments here. And that game was electric. Like everyone who talks about that game wants to make sure whenever that conversation's brought up and think about that, like in a loss, you still want to make sure that one gets its just due.
One of my favorite parts of the story that I was reading on Tiger Act was Coach Ensminger talking about how they couldn't even hear on offense.
Yeah.
Because the crowd was so unruly and so insane that they just kept cheering. There wasn't any tag for, be quiet, the offense is on the field. It was just a constant thrum of noise. And so I wanted to find the box score, right? To kind of think about, man, what was it like back in the day looking at these stats? And shout out LSUsports.net because I couldn't find it anywhere online, but they have it. And it's great because it is a scanned in, handwritten box score from now over 40 years ago. If you look at the doc, you can see a screenshot of the final team statistics. But it's pretty crazy, man. USC ran the ball 46 times for 264. LSU ran the ball 42 times for 208. USC finished 14 of 20 through the air, freaking air raid. LSU, that was for 250. LSU, that was for 145. 14 of 20, 145. LSU finished 6 of 23 for 103. I think Slinger was 6 of 13 or 5 of 13 or something, and was Woodley, I believe, the other quarterback at the time. I think he went 1 of 10. So efficiency.
I just keep Slinger in the game. He was hot.
I know, dude. I know. Efficiency, has changed a bit over time. USC fumbled the ball 5 times. They lost 2 of them. A clean game. Only 8 penalties for USC, 5 for LSU. 1 pick for each team. 7 punts. It's just, it's wonderful to go back and look at this old handwritten box score and how they used to do it. So as we look forward to the future and the glitz and the glamour of Las Vegas and massive television contracts and players making millions of dollars, think back to that human night in 1979 when USC came into this town and at 30 seconds to go ruined what would have been an even more legendary night and let us exact revenge for the ghosts of the past. Okay, guys? Let's kick USC's ass. Break the tie break. Win the rubber match. Take the 2-1 lead and put to rest any questions on who was the real 2003 national champion. Okay, that's what I'm looking for this Sunday, and I'm freaking hyped. How about this? My girl Elise texting saying, we were driving around Boston. We were driving around the Boston area and the loop around Boston, listening to the game in 79 because we get WWL all the way up in Boston. It was cool as hell.
Yeah.
Just staying in the car, man. Probably just going crazy with each play. You're in Boston. Ah, God, what a different time.
Before we get out of this segment, we need to also point out that LSU did get some revenge. You mentioned it in 1984.
Yeah.
Whipped that ass 23-3.
Yeah, and that was in L.A., so they avenged them quite nicely. I was in L.A. USC was 15th. LSU was unranked.
Yeah.
And LSU ran the ball 51 times for 150 yards.
Be still.
3 yards in a cloud of dust. And that was good enough to win 23-3. Defense completely shut.
T-Bob, we won a lot of games like that. You and I did.
Oh, come on. We were better than 50 for 150.
Yeah, we got a couple more yards per carry, but we were going to run that thing 50 times.
51 for 150. Heady times. So, win the rubber match, boys. Honor the heroes of the past. When we get back, 3 bold predictions for LSU this season. We'll react to it, and then we'll give you ours as well. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Centralplumbing.org is the website. 925-8552 is the number. If you have any plumbing problems, Central Plumbing has seen it all, guys, over the 50 years, and so they can fix it all. They're licensed, bond insured. They got flat rate pricing. Excellent warranty coverage once the work is done. So what are you waiting for? Don't think twice. Pick up the phone. Call Central Plumbing.
Go to the website, see what they can do for you in the remodel game as well. Now, 24/7 emergency services is always there for you, but if you're looking to upgrade at your home or business, if you want to go tankless today with a tankless water heater, never run out of hot water again, that's certainly an option for you. If you just want to redo your main bathroom and new tiles, new vanity, new shower, new whatever, they've got you covered. Also, if you've got a big project at your business, they've got the fleet ready to go. Go to the website today, centralplumbing.org.
2024 Ford F-150 and 10,000 off Expedition. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. All right, so right now, DeathValleyVoice.com. Nicholas Rome has written 3 boldest takes for the LSU football team in 2024. And, well, they are that. Not hiding here. And we'll just, we'll go through them. We'll go through them one by one. The first one on this list, Caleb Jackson wins the Doak Walker Award. So immediately you see we are really dealing with boldest here. Of course, the Doak Walker goes to the best running back in the entire country.
I thought bold was going to be something a little bit less bold.
No, I mean, they are. Look, Rove's not pulling any punches here. Shout out, Nicholas. I'm sure, maybe the hubris of youth here a bit, perhaps. And again, you say boldest, you need to go for it. Look, I mean, I don't, obviously when you say boldest, maybe not going to be the most realistic. With guys like Ollie Gordon out there, it's hard to see something like this coming to pass, especially because I think a lot of your game is still going to be built through the air. However, I think what this is more getting at are a couple of elements that I'm excited to see come Sunday night, which are going to be the more revamped rushing attack, your counters, your powers, your horn bosses, everything else, your more gap schemes to mix in along with your man schemes. And then, and also just that, look, Caleb Jackson looks very good right now. They say he's 235. I don't know if that's true or not, even if it's 225, though. That is a big man to be running as fast as he can. He showed so much potential last season. So I think the overall takeaway is not, he's not going to win the Doak Walker. Really, the takeaway is it's going to be a new revamped rushing attack behind a very good LSU offensive line. And in Caleb Jackson, Josh Williams, you have your very solid, very good college football player, a bit more of a known quantity. And that's not a negative at all, right? He's your 18. He's your leader. But in Caleb Jackson, you do have something tantalizing and young with supreme physical potential.
Yeah, like for me, that's so bold, not because he's not talented enough to go do those things, but I don't think that he's going to have the usage rate to be able to go out there and win that award. I think it is going to be a true running back by committee. It's going to be 3 running backs, and each have a different skill set. Each is going to play, and he is certainly going to have some oohs, some ahs. He's going to have explosives. He's going to have all of that, but there's going to be other running backs in the country that get like an 85% usage rate. That they're going to be the main guy, where Jackson might get, 45.
Yeah.
And Josh Williams might get 35. And then John Emery would make up the rest, like that. I can see it being something like that. So, again, he's got the talent, just the raw talent, to do all those things. I just don't know that LSU is going to have like a true RB1 bell cow this year.
I would agree with that, but we are both very excited, like we said, to see this new rushing attack. Bold prediction number 2 from our guy Nicholas: Alabama is not the biggest test on LSU's schedule. And he goes on to say that he mentions going to Kyle Field. He mentions hosting Ole Miss. And then he mentions Oklahoma at the end of the year. Now, the word test is interesting here. Because out of those teams, I do feel Alabama is the best team. You know me, I'm very bullish in Alabama, even with the losses. I know you're not as bullish as I am, Jake, certainly.
No. Not down, but not bullish.
Yeah, no. Like, I'm pretty up on them, unfortunately. I think they're going to be really good. I get what he's getting at. And at Kyle Field would maybe be my other answer to this. I mean, again, Ole Miss is very good, but LSU has a lot of success against Ole Miss in Death Valley. Oklahoma is going to be very good and a huge test and new. But again, you're at home. And yes, you can say, well, Alabama's at home. Yes, well, but you've almost always lost to Alabama in Death Valley, except for the last time out. So, no, Kyle Field's going to be tough, everything. But I'll still say that the Alabama game will be the toughest team that you will play.
I don't know. I don't have it there this year. I keep going back to at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I can't get away from that game. It just feels like LSU's season is not hinging on like that game, because I don't want to sound like if they lose, they'll have a bad season, but to the expectation of what you want to be, like it feels like that game on the road, because outside of that, like your home schedule is fantastic.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like, if you want season tickets to LSU, this was the year to get them. With Alabama, with Oklahoma, with Ole Miss, with UCLA, all of those games in Tiger Stadium. So what's going to be maybe your toughest road test? It's going to be at Texas A&M. Now, you've got at Florida on November the 16th after Alabama. I am not saying that's going to be easy. Even though Florida's record might not show it, they're still a talented football team, and that's a tough spot right after Alabama. Physical game, a lot of emotion. Either way, spent on that game every single year. So for me, you go Ole Miss, and then you go to Arkansas, and we don't expect a lot from Arkansas this year. So where's your emotions going into the Texas A&M game? Again, you haven't won there since 2016. Yeah, it's been a lot of wild and crazy games, including the 7 overtime game. Like, how do you go there and win a game against a team that you're probably, like, depending on how they go, you might even be a favorite in that game? Now, I'm a little bit higher on Texas A&M than most. I think they win this week against Notre Dame.
Yeah, but I got them winning too.
That game to me is, if you win it, playoff, and if you don't, 9-3.
Yeah, but in that 9-3, Alabama's one of those losses, right? But I mean, the A&M game is still the difference there.
If you drop that one, I mean, I haven't gone game by game and been like, okay, here's where the loss is. To me, I would put Alabama maybe third.
Well, we'll see.
But I mean, the point stands. Like, you're choosing between Ole Miss, at Texas A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right, those are the 4 that you're kind of, if we're talking about conference play. So it's like picking games in that order. Everybody might have a different order, but having that game at home is always going to be crucial for you, even though you hadn't been very successful in that one. But you have been successful on road or home in that one.
You won last time out, at least. I mean, the point stands. So either way, at A&M going to be a massive, massive test as well. And then the final boldest prediction here, Kyron Lacey does not lead the team in receiving. So my only issue with this is if this were the case, I would feel like maybe something went awry for LSU a bit. I don't know. Maybe C.J. Daniels would just
although they do love C.J. Daniels.
Yeah.
When I went out to practice on Friday, I had, it was my first time out, and I was kind of going around like, hey, give me the update, like what's going on, who's new, who should I be, all that. And like 6 out of the 7, C.J. Daniels was like the first name. So, yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so maybe maybe Nicholas is onto something here.
I'm with you about Kyron Lacy for sure. Like, I would be surprised, but also, like, we have to remember that Daniels did have over 1,000 yards, almost 20 yards per catch and 10 touchdowns. Now, how that translates, it's always up in the air when you have a transfer come from a group of 5 to not only a Power 4, but one of the best Power 4s and in the best conference. But LSU has a real second option. It's not just Kyron Lacy. So if that happened, like if Daniels had, maybe more catches and Kyron had more yards, like something like that wouldn't surprise me.
I take back what I said a second ago. I just need a 1,000-yard receiver. Whoever it is, you need if you do not hit a 1,000-yard receiver, then something has gone awry a bit. Taylor, Chris Hilton, questionable for the game on Sunday?
Yeah, and this was a name that I threw out to you guys right after fall started because he looked so good out there, was Kyle Parker. And Brian Kelly mentioned him yesterday. Like, if Chris Hilton can't go, Kyle Parker is the guy. Like, he will be in the starting 3. It's probably be Lacy and Parker on the outside, C.J. Daniels in the slot. So he's had a really good fall. At the beginning of fall, he was dropping some passes, but I got to tell you, the last 2 weeks I was out there, no drop passes, crisp route runner. And he's over 200 pounds. Like, he's a big dude. Like, He's got some muscle on him. He looks like he's ready to go.
All right. When we get back here on OTB, I want to pick Jake's brain a bit about what he saw on the scrimmage on Saturday. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to Trash Rangers, TrashRangersLLC.com, TrashRangersLLC.com. You need waste management, trash removal, residential, right? Somebody's going to come by your home. Ooh, new site looks great. Well, if you live in Ascension or Livingston Parish, just a couple of minutes, you go to trashsignup.com and you can see exactly what they can offer you. The pickup days, the number of cans. Remember, they always do convenient things so that they give a damn, like texting you the night before to remind you to put out the cans. Here's a local touch and give a damn that you just don't get with these national companies that take the profits out of Louisiana but keep the trash here. Okay, Trash Rangers, that money funneled back into the community through churches, Little League teams, initiatives. Go to TrashRangersLLC.com.
Yeah, great new website. Looks like they just updated it today, and they'll show you all the information that we talk about every single day. Also, do not forget about those roll-off dumpsters, 3 different sizes for your job. TrashRangersLLC.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big.
With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. Oasis tweeting. The guns have fallen silent. The stars have aligned. The great wait is over. Come see. It will not be televised. That's right. The Gallaghers have made peace.
So how are we supposed to see then?
They try to sell them tickets, obviously, man.
I know, but what if you don't live in like Europe or London or whatever?
Sorry, love. You're SOL.
But
No
I want to see.
Oasis
You're telling
for
me
you.
to come see, and I can't.
Yep. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, basically it sucks. that is exactly what's going on. There's a comment here that I wanted to get into chat, but I lost it. Blake Miller says, biggest test is week 1, 1-0, a place this team has never been. I mean, let's think about that. So Josh Williams is going into his 6th year, right? Maybe there's a couple others as well. I'm trying to think Emery. Yeah. Are Josh Williams and John Emery the only players on this team? Maybe Guillory? Because
Guillory was not there in 19.
Yeah, so Josh Williams and John Emery, Jake, the only players on this team, and only because they had a COVID year, that have ever started a season 1-0. It's like how all the Ohio State players talked about how, they all came back this year, not just because they got paid, which is true, but also because I saw a great Emeka Buka quote where he's like, we haven't won a big game. Not a single big game. They've won a lot of games.
Yeah.
But they've never beat Michigan. They've never won a Big Ten championship. They've never won a playoff game.
That's true.
And so he's like, yeah, we've won a lot of games, but we haven't won a big one, and we feel like we freaking have to. And so everybody comes back. Well, and I'm kind of sitting there like, God, that's crazy to think. No gold pants in entire Ohio State roster. Well, guess what? No gold pants in this LSU one either. Basically, or 2 pairs. Nobody, though, basically on this team has won an opener. That is insanity. And it has to stop. And if you came here in 2020, this is your last opportunity. I mean, you had guys come and leave without ever winning an opener.
Yeah.
This is your last opportunity for that 2020 class. Go get it done, dude.
Yeah, you had like Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. came to LSU, first-round picks, and never won an opener.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy. Granted, only 2 years, but still. It's crazy to think about. And it's a thing that I cannot shake, and it is the reason why LSU must win on Sunday more than any other, is to break this super deflating, awful streak that just ruins the season immediately off the bat. I want to be celebrating on Whiskey and Wine. I want to be talking about the season that will be. I don't want to be once again deflated, having to talk about how angry, how sad, how disappointed, trying to climb out of a hole, starting immediately so far behind the 8 ball. You got to find a way to beat a USC program right now that I told you is wobbly. They're wobbly, guys. They're not bad. And like any heavyweight that's wobbly, right? If you approach it wrong, they can catch you. And then all of a sudden they win. But they are wobbly right now. You're not. You're pretty solid on your feet. You're feeling good. Year 3, BK. Remember, Brian Kelly kind of fighting against expectations last year. You know, talking about how, it's only year 2. It's only year 2, all preseason. We're like, well, maybe he knew how bad the defense was going to be. Or at least, I don't think he fathomed how bad, but like he knew the defense wasn't going to be good, right? But not the case this year. He's been like, look, year 3, my team's always ball. In year 3, okay, well, let's go prove it. Year 3, what's a great way to assert that? By doing something you haven't done in years 1 and 2 and winning the first game.
Just think how different that would feel compared to where you've been. Let's not even go back last 4 years. Let's just go back the last 2 years. And you're in an uphill battle, just a fight for your life to get to 10 wins because you lost the opener. And just the narratives that they have, like when you go back to last year, right? You've got Southern 2 years ago, Grambling last year, and then you go Mississippi State, but the schedule looks a little bit different this year. And sure, you could go out there and lose, and you're going to beat Nichols. Now you go on the road to South Carolina, UCLA, South Alabama, but it looks different because of Ole Miss and at A&M and Alabama and at Florida and Oklahoma. Like, there's not like wins you can be like, okay, yeah, check that off. Like the teams that you're playing in the SEC, you've got one of the more difficult schedules. Now you get those games at home, and so that's going to be something that you can kind of lean on, but there's just not wins that you can just check off here, where in the years past you've been able to, in the meat of that schedule, have a couple of nice paths to get to 10 wins.
And the other thing about it, man, 1 week turns into 2 because Nichols isn't going to do anything for anybody's happiness.
So remember we talked about that the last 2 years. Like, you lose that. Doesn't matter if you win by 100, which they kind of did both times, but it didn't matter.
No. It just makes for awful weeks. Everybody walking around in a general malaise, a general anger, just a little irritable. It's the opposite of everything. So everything's on the line in this ranked-unranked matchup, rubber match, honoring the ghosts of the past, closing the book, all of it going down this Sunday in Las Vegas. All right, when we get back here on Off the Bench, I want to play you some sound that will stick with me forever, and we will pick Jake's brain eventually. Sorry, I got distracted a bit by our comment there. YouTube.com/1045 if you want to be involved. Hit the like button, guys, and we'll be back with more OTB.
Off the Bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. His website, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Join the All-Star family today. They got an incredible on-site selection. You can just go pop in off an airline in Goodwood, very conveniently located, see what they can offer you. Or you can just go online and look. You can actually custom order right there on the website with All-Star Toyota Express. And remember, if you need a service center or a body shop, all makes and models welcome. Free professional estimates, excellent lines of communication throughout. Go to All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com.
When you go to the website, buying new, leasing, or renting, everything is available. So full fleet is available, ready to go. And if you got a trip to watch the Tigers play, you need something bigger, they got the Sequoia, the Sienna. If you want to save on gas, they've got multiple sedans, multiple hybrids, options for everybody and everything that they offer over at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. So this is all about, the white man expanding west and, pillaging these Native American villages and towns. In the last 2 years, I would listen to this on repeat before the Florida State games to get hyped up. Unfortunately, in that story, the natives won.
Well, we're going to go pillage the West.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Hell yeah.
Sunday.
Make him run for the hills.
Yeah.
Also, you're named after the group of military members that lost the war. Like the Spartans beat the Trojans.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I don't remember well enough. God, turn that up.
Like, why would you be named after the losing side?
Let's go, baby. Game time. All right. Hey, do you have that Twitter link of Des Bryant brought up there in 745? All right. We're not going to stick on this too long. Not going to expound on it. I want to talk about Dylan Cruz. I want to pick Jake's brain for a second. But every now and then, I tweeted this, but every now and then you hear something that you know will stick with you the rest of your life. And it can be kind of in the most just random, innocuous of situations. So there it was, doing what somebody does, just kind of looking at social media, some random portion of the day. And I see a clip from The Pivot, I believe this comes from, with Ryan Clark. And here is Des Bryant on something that he tries to keep at the fore of his mind as he operates, on this earth.
Ain't trying to grab it. Let me read something. It's been on my phone for 5. Break generational curses. Quit yelling at your kids before they go to bed and expect them to sleep well. Quit yelling at your kids in the morning right after they wake up before school and expect them to have a good day. You set the tone for your children. You set the tone for your voice. They will always remember in their heads. You become their inner voice. Don't be their inner critic. Speak life, speak love, speak bravery, kindness and hope. Speak wisdom and truth. Most of all, listen to your children. Read something.
Beautiful. It's simple. Speak life. What do you say? Speak life, speak love, speak bravery, wisdom, truth, and listen to your children. Hell yeah, Des. Thank you for that, man. That will stay with me forever. So I hope it made your day a little better as well. Speaking of a good day, Dylan Cruz made his MLB debut last night for the Nationals against the Yankees. Jay Johnson traveling out to go see his former superstar make his debut. Ends up going 0-3, has a walk though, couple putouts, tries to hose a guy at home, doesn't quite get it done. Yankees win 5-2, but hey, Dylan Cruz in the big leagues, guys. Hell yeah.
Yep. And, incredibly quick, right? Just because Paul Skeens made it even faster. For him to get drafted last year, and I know he's a college player, so that's going to speed up the process, but still very impressive that he's already here. We used to see this in, year 3, maybe like a September call up would be something, but basically he's a year in some change already getting the call to the Nationals. And I guess it's not a surprise after, who he was at LSU, but still it's impressive that you can go all the way through the minors, do what he did, and get to the bigs this fast.
Jake, so you got to go to the scrimmage on Saturday.
I did not.
You did not? Oh, so I teased that and I was wrong. I thought you went. I thought is that not the players thing? I thought
it was, but the player that I was watching on Saturday was Knox Hester.
Okay, so you went to, but you did go to
I
a
went
practice.
to practice, yeah.
You went to Friday
practice.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
because that's when we gave out the number 18s and whatnot. What was your biggest takeaway from practice?
The tight end group. The tight end group looks the part. Now, I'm talking about all 3 of those guys. Again, depth could be an issue. You got 3 scholarship guys. If they stay healthy, you can just tell within this offense, it is going to be a focal point. In crunch time, expect a tight end to make a big play. Now, which one? I think it could be any of the 3. It is a group that all 3 are going to play. All 3 are going to be impactful.
So we've always talked about using Tradez Green with that kind of vertical slice. Seems like Kamorian Pimpton has really come on as of late. Who is the hierarchy Taylor, Pimpton, Green?
I think it just depends on the situation. I think it just depends on what the play call is going to be, who's going to be, the point of emphasis on that play. Now, Mason Taylor's always going to
he's
be out there.
He's definitely tight end 1 for sure.
But Pimpton and Green, I think it's going to depend on situation. But again, I just think all 3 of those guys are going to play. They all have, again, going back to the running back conversation, all 3 of these tight ends have a different skill set, different body type, so you can do different things with them.
Yeah, and look, coaches have positions that they know how to develop for whatever reason. And Brian Kelly's always been very good at creating O-lines, and he's been very good at creating tight ends, right? Should it come no surprise here in year number 3 that both of those positions are in stellar spots. Will one of them find the end zone Sunday night? We're about to find out, y'all. Hour 1 of the books, hour 2 of OTB coming up next. Keep it locked.
Off the bench.
Back to school savings at Bayou Ford. $12,000 off F-150. $12,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And $10,000 off Expedition. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
So please check out our website, GoTommies.com. That's GEAUX Tommies.com to set up a free quote from Tommy's Windows. And of course, go Tigers! Go Tommies!
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Tuesday, August 27th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 96. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll have OTB Mailbag at 8:15. We'll continue to discuss the bold predictions leading into the 2024 LSU football season. We'll also hear from LSU head coach Brian Kelly as he met with the media yesterday. And we'll talk New Orleans Saints a little bit. Could they be in the market for a free agent wide receiver? You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And you can also watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
God, I feel like the name said a lot there. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Alontra, and Taylor hanging out with you today. I want to do some Brian Kelly sound to open up this hour, but I did realize, we have OTB Mailbag coming up next segment as well. So football, life, whatever questions you have, let us be the shaman, your Sherpa up this mountain that we call existence. Get your questions in, that's all I'm saying, with hashtag OTB Mailbag. Jake, so we talked about some bold predictions for LSU in 2024. We never have our bold predictions. So I have mine. Are you ready?
Sure.
LSU will lead the SEC in sacks. Number 1. with a bullet. I see you looking over your shoulder at me, Tay-Tay. T-Bob, how could such a thing be possible? LSU sucked last year, right? Well, they were still 7th in the SEC. 31 sacks. Texas A&M finished first in the conference at 42. Now, make no mistake, Texas A&M will be hard to beat with Shamar Turner, Nick Scorton, everybody else that they have on that D-line. But do you know who was just 3 sacks behind Texas A&M? Blake Baker's Missouri Tigers. Blake Baker had some very good players last year. I don't think he had a player of Harold Perkins' caliber. We said yesterday a sneaky strength of this team could be that edge group. Womack, Swinson, Shand, Jones. This is a defense that is going to be built on being aggressive, on dictating, and try to force you to prove that you can make the play to beat them. I keep thinking back to how Georgia Tech approached DJ Uiagalelei after that first drive on Saturday where they started attacking him. Cover 1, sometimes cover 0, man coverage.
More cover 0 than he probably expected.
And what did they do in the first drive? There's a lot of cover 2, playing a little bit back. Nope. Yep. After that, we ain't going to let you just sit here and attack. And that's what LSU did last year. And they still had 31 sacks, still finished halfway. So, yeah, I could see a world out there where LSU goes above 40 sacks and leads the entirety of the SEC. How about that?
Okay, I like that one. I like that. And it's certainly bold. I think this might be bold to some, maybe it's not to others, but I think it's more to do with the quarterbacks that are in front of him that would make it bold. I think Garrett Nussmeier, bold prediction, is first team all SEC quarterback.
Yeah, okay, that is insane. Yeah, no, I mean that is pushing Caleb Jackson as Doak Walker for on the insanity level. When you think about Carson Beck, Jackson Dart,
Jalen
Milroe,
Quinn Ewers,
Brady Cook, Quinn Ewers, Nico Iamaleava. No, I agree. I'm just setting the context for the people as to why that sounds so bold.
Yeah, I think it's because of the people, not Garrett's talent, but I think it's the people in front of him that make that bold.
Yeah.
But yeah, you said bold. Let's go bold.
I agree. I mean, look, okay, so then let's math it out. So how do those other guys fall short then? Texas has good weapons, but they've lost some running backs, and they've replaced all of their receivers from last year, right? And Quinn Ewers does sometimes struggle to stay healthy.
You could have the head-to-head, against 2 of them.
Yeah,
in Milroe and Dart.
True. Dart's going to put up stats, but maybe you get the head-to-head there, and that pushes you over the top of him. Milroe as well, and obviously Milroe's weapons remain the biggest question mark with Alabama. Will Milroe put up like overwhelming passing statistics? Brady Cook, does he take a step back? I mean, with Brady Cook, he feels like a player on the rise, but then again, we've only really seen one good season. Remember last year, at the beginning of the year, they're ready to bench Brady Cook. They're ready to fire Eli Drinkwitz before everything changed. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Garrett and Nico are in the exact same spot, so him finishing above Nico is nothing surprising. Carson Beck is the real biggest piece of this that makes it bold, because that man is a robot. He is so consistent and NFL efficient that it's definitely hard. Now they won't ask him to do a ton, but even then he kind of put up interesting numbers last year. So, hell yeah, dude. Garrett Nussmeier, first team all SEC. If that happens, things have gone very well. If that happens, you're probably in the playoff. Like, I could see a world where you lead the SEC in sacks and you're still 9-3, right? But if Garrett Nussmeier's first team all SEC, then you probably at least 10-2, probably better, maybe 11-1, and in the playoff and a top 5 team in the entire country. And then Caleb Jackson wins the Doak Walker, and LSU leads in sacks, and it all happens at once.
Because look, I mean, the other bold predictions, what else are you really going to give? If we're talking award season, you could say Kyron Lacey to win the Blitnikoff. I mean,
Not after if Malik Neighbors couldn't win it.
That's where I was at. Like, they already know who's going to win that thing right now.
All right, let's get to some Kelly comments as he addressed the media yesterday. And it's game week, baby. It's that time. Real quick, because this is something that Brian Kelly has always done. But now, is this official, Jake? The FCC is requiring injury reports now? Kelly already did it voluntarily last year. I know they were considering it.
Yeah, I don't know if that
if
ever
they
got pushed through either.
Okay. No. Well, here's an injury report from week 1.
You know, we have one guy that is questionable, and that's Chris Hilton. He has a bone bruise. He is working through that process. Probable would be Frazier, our offensive guard. Those are the two right now that would show up on our injury report.
Okay, so good news on the Frazier front, though they have been trying to develop Tyree Adams as quickly as possible to be that 6th swing man. But you definitely don't want to enter this with missing one of your stalwart offensive linemen. Like if you were telling me you can have either Frazier or Hilton, I'd take Frazier. And that's no slight to Hilton, but you have talent there. Like you go very young.
Yeah.
Like the drop off in experience going from Frazier to Adams is extreme. Yeah. Here is Kelly too. Just an overall overview of the SC Trojans.
You know, we've got to do a great job in making them one-dimensional. If they are balanced offensively, they are very difficult to defend. We've got to limit some of the big plays. Zachariah Branch is an electrifying offensive player. We've got to be able to tackle him, not only offensively, but in special teams. And then obviously prepare for a defense that we're not really certain about because they have so many new players on defense. You know, we know the structure. You know, we know that, from a defensive standpoint, they bring in a lot of talented players. Coach Lynn, coming over from UCLA, did a great job. And he will impact that defense as well. So, we've got our hands full.
Jake, Coach Kelly also falling prey to the Zachariah Branch groupthink, going out of his way to mention him. It's, again, we
going to be a starter on the team, yeah.
It's a bit perplexing statistically, but maybe they're thinking this is going to be a burst out type of game.
I mean, look, he's a track guy. He's on Bruce Feldman's freak list because he's only 175 pounds, but apparently in the weight room, he's a monster. Like, I get all of that, but the stats just don't match up right now with the conversation. Not to say that they can't, but they didn't a year ago.
When we cut audio, rightfully, we do not include the questions. I was at the press conference. The person asked about Zachariah Branch. Like they said players such as Zachariah Branch.
Good job, Tay. How about this is Kelly 7. What's it like preparing for a first-year starter in Miller Moss?
You're really taking a lot of, what they did in the bowl game because, you've got a couple of weeks to prepare, right? And they had some time to really kind of settle in on what they felt his comfort level is. Now he's grown from there. He's had a spring practice and he's had, another 2.5 weeks. So, there's going to be more to the offense. But, you're going to take what Coach Riley has been successful with, and then you're going to look at their offensive structure and certainly begin to build your plan accordingly.
Wait, sorry, I got a bit distracted. Oh, okay, I want because there's some more USC ones that I want to get to here. So Brian Kelly he's never played Lincoln Riley, but he is 8-3 against the Trojans in his time. Here's Kelly 19. He was asked, are there any similarities with this SC team to teams you faced in the past?
The 2019, 20, 21 version of USC was built on the air raid as well. So there's some similarities, from that perspective. Lincoln Riley is a great play caller. So, I'm not here to argue who's a better play caller, but there were similarities in terms of what they were trying to do offensively. So that's why the transition in terms of what they went to offensively was pretty seamless. Pretty similar there, but you're going to get outstanding skill players on the field. You're going to get players that on both sides of the ball, to your naked eye, you're going to go, that looks like an SEC player, and that's what we'll get on Sunday.
It's a very good point, Jake, in that SC's strength, even if you think back to 2 years ago, right, when the Alex Grinch defense still sucked, but they went 11-1 because they forced a lot of turnovers, right?
They did, yeah.
They had a lot of turnover luck, but a lot of that because they had good DBs. Like, USC is strong at these skill positions. They remain that. Even in all of the down years, they've kind of kept that. That's the only place where they seem to send guys to the NFL. That's why the trenches become even more important, because that's where they're supposed to be weak. And if you can't exploit them there, big on big, then that's going to be a recipe for a bad night in Vegas.
I know, I think so as well. You're going to, like he said, you're going to see corners and safeties and receivers and tight ends and maybe not running backs. This group, I think, for USC was better a year ago than it is this year. I do think Woody Marks has a skill set, but, Lloyd was somebody that, we saw him tear up the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
But
Travis Dye was a beast 2 years
ago.
For
the most part, the skill guys could play in any league. And it's always been up front for USC, certainly, since Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll had Cedric Ellis and a couple of Jimmys and Joes up front, and that's what made them kind of separate themselves from the rest of the Pac-10 at the time. But now it's up front is something where going to a league where you got to be good up front in the Big Ten, that's why I'm not as high on USC in the league, is because – you can match up on the outside. You can have success. Even your stats, like the turnovers, can go up and be top in the league. But can you get leaned on by Iowa, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, those teams?
Well, LSU will show. Will give us our first taste of that, whether or not they can hold up. One thing about USC is, like LSU, they completely remake their defense. Instead of Blake Baker, it's D'Anton Lynn. Like LSU, though, Lynn coming over from UCLA. LSU goes to Mizzou, an in-conference team, to find their DC. UCLA last season, maybe a bit ironically, Chip Kelly's offense, not the strength of the team, not that good. The defense was pretty damn salty, hence why they went after Lynn. This is Kelly 16 on what stands out about Lynn's defense.
Very active, play a lot of man coverage, a very similar scheme in terms of getting after people. And so I just think a very aggressive defensively. There's different ways, right, to attack people. And I think Coach Lynn did a great job of looking at matchups, utilizing his personnel in a great way at UCLA. And he's probably going to do the same thing here with the new personnel that he has. And so he's got a new staff as well. He's got some outstanding staff members that they've assembled, defensive line, linebackers, secondary. So we just have to be prepared, to handle, 3 down, 4 down pressures, all of those things.
And Jake, what if you were to game plan this LSU team? Now, maybe this is a bit tough because we haven't seen these receivers really too much in live action here. But with what Cortez Hankton has built the last couple of years, I would think trying to man up LSU would be advantage LSU. Now, they got to prove it, and if they can't, well, then maybe USC can do exactly what they want. But, if I hear you're going to try to man me up, I say, okay, I'll take that bet, bring it on. I'll trust Kyron Lacey and C.J. Daniels and company to try to get open for Garrett Nussmeier in those one-on-one battles.
Yeah, look, you can't be a place like LSU and not invite man coverage. You've had, we could go through the list of receiver after receiver, even when you were running horn boss every single play, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You still had Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry and Reuben Randall. So you've always had receivers, and we don't know these receivers like we knew the ones from a year ago, but still, we've seen Kyron Lacey, have 600 yards in the SEC. We assume he's going to make, that jump to be receiver one. We've seen Daniels at a lower level be 1,000-yard receiver. We have seen them, just not where they're currently going to be counted on, but you have to just lean on the experience and past history of LSU receivers. Man coverage, sign me up for all of that. And when I went to practice on Friday, that's kind of, they did a drill. It was red zone. There was a lot of man coverage, and Kyron Lacey was getting open almost every single time because of his routes, not because of the defense, right? So I'm sure he invites man coverage. I don't assume that LSU is going to see a lot of it, and if they do, it would be maybe a one series, we can't do that type deal. Because if USC has man coverage and it's working, LSU might be cooked.
Yeah, for sure. That would be a very, very bad omen. All right. So there's some beginning of Kelly. So that's kind of Kelly on USC. There's some interesting answers on Kelly and the defense and the D-line, and Jacoby and Guillory specifically. We'll get to that on the other side of OTB Mailbag. But coming up next, go to youtube.com/1045ESPN, hashtag OTB Mailbag. Get your questions in. We'll answer them. Keep it locked. Off the bench.
Off the bench.
Coleman Roofing and Construction. ColemanRoof.com is the website for Louisiana's most reliable, most respected, and most complete roofing company. You can fill out a consult right there online. Just name, email, a little blurb about what you need. They get in touch with you immediately. And it doesn't matter what you need, guys, because complete means complete. Any size job, commercial, residential, any type of roof, anywhere in Louisiana. And the construction as well. Like if you have any tree falls in your house, you got to have the inside rebuild. You get water damage inside the insulation. They do that. Then they fix the roof. ColemanRoof.com.
Yeah, go to the website today. Check out that contact information throughout the state of Louisiana. Residential, commercial. Like commercially, remember, like if you're listening to us in North Louisiana, we're talking to you, South Louisiana, no matter where you're at in the state. Like commercially, they can help you out in your project. Truly a one-stop shop because of the construction portion of Coleman Roofing and Construction.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Welcome back, OTB. Hope you're all having an excellent day. Just remember the Connor Stallions documentary just dropped, guys. What's making the rounds on Twitter, and this is kind of funny to me, Jake, because it's almost like, duh. Like Danny Cannell just tweeted, Harbaugh knew. right? And there's a clip from the Stallions documentary where Connor Stallions talks about getting a game ball from Jim Harbaugh in 2022 for their game against Iowa. And everybody's like, yeah, I mean, you're telling me Harbaugh didn't know? And I'm kind of like, guys, did we ever doubt that Harbaugh knew? The point is that it's just you have to prove it, right? It's deny till you die. Like, if you were someone who was taking Jim Harbaugh at face value or thinking that he was being sincere and saying he had no idea that this psychopathic head coach, these head coaches that want to know every single detail about what goes on in their kingdoms. You think Harbaugh didn't know about the super advanced badass sign stealing system they had created that they were using to great effect? Like,
not my coach. Yeah. He didn't know nothing.
He didn't know anything. I agree, dude.
What you're talking about?
I mean, game ball doesn't prove anything. Honestly.
Not at all. Just everybody got one.
He worked his ass off that week.
It could have been one of those things where everybody got one.
Could have worked his ass off that week. In the clip, it doesn't sound like that with the pride that Stallions is presenting with.
But
again,
these shows,
could be.
I mean, they want the juicy details. They cut it up. They chop it up. Fabricated.
You remember, though, Stallions probably in this documentary, I'll be very interested to see if he ever actually says Harbaugh knew, because Stallions is a believer. He's a true believer. He never wavered. He's not working with the NCAA. Also, again, I don't really care about whether, I mean, like, of course Harbaugh knew. Of course Michigan stole signs. I don't really care.
I don't either.
Because they suspended him, and they still kicked everybody's ass. And they couldn't steal signs after he got suspended, after Stallions and everything. Like, they're not to the extent that they were, and they still kicked everybody's ass. So who cares? Who cares? It's funny. A lot of the tweets I was looking at, they were all people from Columbus. That's odd. I can't imagine why that would be. All right, let's do a little hashtag OTB mailbag.
Wait, I lost it. Here it is.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for off the bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet.
What the is the internet?
All right. Alex asks, if LSU wins the total plays and time of possession battle, what is the final score? Does LSU run the ball 40 times? So you win plays, you win TOP. Does that guarantee a win? Maybe not against an explosive. I don't know how explosive it'll be, but in style, in scheme, an offense that is built to be explosive, an offense that was very explosive in that bowl game. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's like a guarantee of a win, but it is interesting to think about LSU leaning on running the ball. Like, what if they're just kind of gashing him, beating him up front? You take some of the pressure off of Garrett Nussmeier's shoulders.
Yeah.
You rely on the trio of backs in the O-line. Like, I think you probably do win those battles. I don't know that guarantees you a win in the game.
I mean, if you run the ball 40 times, that means you're running it well. It means you're leaning on them. I'm not going to speak in absolutes here, but it's pretty close. You run the ball 40 times.
Okay, so you're saying that would be well, the first part of the question was if you win total plays in time of possession.
Right, I'm going back to the runs.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the other things. Total plays means really nothing. You can go hyper fast and you can have total plays. I know the time of possession is usually an indicator, but 40 runs to me is the thing that stands out.
Yeah, if you run the ball 40 times, it likely means you're playing from ahead. You're in control of the game. That would be a clear indicator of a win. That's a good call by Jake. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Did y'all see the video Jaden Daniels made for Dylan Cruz for being called up to the Nationals? I did not.
Yeah.
You need to check that out.
Yeah, that's good.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. When Harbaugh finally got over the hump and beat Ohio State, how many recruits do you think that landed him? I mean, not many, because like Michigan still hasn't been like
they're
elite at recruiting.
They're
good enough.
Blue chip chart that y'all follow doesn't have like Michigan's never high on that.
No,
compared
they're
to
in
the
like
other teams.
They're in like the mid to high 50s.
Yeah.
Well, and then they
Maybe the
weren't
60s.
like super low when he was losing to Ohio State either. Like, I don't think there was a big jump before or after.
No, yeah, the talent, they just started to cheat better.
Yeah.
But the talent has always been. Michigan's one of those schools where, it's about like it's a little bit culty, like the Michigan man. You got to buy in and whatnot. But yeah, culture, I think, is the biggest feather in Harbaugh and Michigan's cap. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Do you think Blake Baker watched LSU defensive film from 2019 against Oklahoma?
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, no. I know the connection. I'm wondering if there would be value in that. I mean, you're gonna watch it.
I don't think so.
They're completely different teams now. I mean, he was at Oklahoma. Nobody from LSU still there. Nobody from Oklahoma still there.
You wouldn't watch it for personnel. You watch it for schematics. But even the schematics
you have years
changed.
at USC to watch schematics.
I'm sure they did things with CeeDee Lamb that USC doesn't do because they don't have a CeeDee Lamb.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Miller Moss can't do what Jalen Hurts did.
Yeah.
I think
I'll co-sign that.
Bit of a bold take. But I don't think he can squat 600 pounds and run like a 4.540.
He doesn't look like he can squat 600 pounds.
Miller.
No. He looks soft.
Jalen Hurts can. I mean, he does look soft, and Miller Moss is a objectively soft name.
Yeah.
But
I think Miller's a pretty cool name, actually.
But let's not be too disrespectful here, because that
I
is a
think
man.
Coors is better.
True.
What's better?
What?
What's better?
Coors.
Coors? Oh, yeah, I agree. Everybody in Louisiana likes I don't know. I agree with you.
He looks super soft, though.
But I will say this. I don't want to disrespect the man too much because he's like kind of like Nuss. He bided his time, right? There's nothing soft about sticking around, surviving, sitting behind a Heisman winner, surviving multiple 5-stars, being, recruited to take your job. Like, he probably has a little more moxie than we're giving him credit for. Basically, he has more moxie than his looks would have you believe.
And all I commented on was how he looked. I didn't say anything
Where's
about
Miller Moss from?
I know. I think it's a fair point.
Where's he from?
I think California.
No.
I think he's a true USC believer. I could be wrong.
He's from Santa Monica.
Yep, there you go. I mean, he is USC through and through, which I would say soft, but then again, I mean, there's something to be said for somebody that grows up loving a school and then their dreams to do it and they're finally there. Like, watch out now.
Like LSU's quarterback. Same scene.
Yeah.
Same situation.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. Do y'all know the average size difference in our O-line to their D-line? Our O-line averages 6'6", 320. They average 6'2", 290. Does that help with making them run the ball more? Yeah, I would say so.
I will say this. They're pretty big O-line, but I was actually telling y'all this exact story last week about camera angles. Emmanuel Pregnon is an offensive tackle for them. And they had a video of him walking, but everybody else is 15 yards behind him, so it makes him look gigantic.
Yeah.
And they're like, Emmanuel Pregnon is a problem. Look how huge this guy is. And I looked him up. Big dude, 6'5", 320.
Yeah.
Everybody on LSU's offensive line is bigger than Emmanuel Pregnon.
Yeah. Forced perspective. What they did in Lord of the Rings. Coolest part about that was they make the props different size. But so that they would still look like they were the same size, but they actually weren't.
Like the E.T. ride in Universal.
I don't remember it well enough.
They have little tiny moons, so it looks like you're high up.
Yeah,
you're super close to the ground.
Yeah, like Peter Pan in Magic Kingdom, where you got a little London out from beneath you. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Is there a bigger waste of time than having a doctor's appointment, getting there on time, only to wait 2 hours, but too late, and you have to reschedule?
This is so specific.
Yeah, no, he's definitely
Just
in the office right now.
He's there as we speak.
Hey,
no, it's a
survive.
bad feeling, man, but it's just what you got to do.
You got to survive it.
Yeah. Hashtag OTB mailbag. With Everton losing the first 2 games and having a goal differential of -7. What the heck? Are they pretty much relegated already?
I don't feel good about it.
Wait, we're 2 games in and we're at -7?
They got to be 4-1 and 4-0.
To who? At least the best teams in the Premier League.
Brighton, who's always given Everton problems, and then Tottenham.
Okay. Tottenham's
both on the road.
Brighton,
both away
Albion?
from Goodison. You don't feel great. You don't feel great about it. It's not ideal. This is the last year of Goodison Park. cannot imagine opening a brand new state-of-the-art stadium and playing in the championship.
Oh my God.
That would be
That
very
would be
Everton.
so bad.
Yeah.
Hashtag OTB Mailbag. Does Nussmeier have access to the German VR system that Daniel used to get better?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If Jack Marucci's there and Mario, like, they're going to have all the latest and greatest when it comes to like all the analytics and numbers and tech and all that.
Hashtag OTB Mailbag. Is it concerning that 87% of the money is on LSU -4.5 when the line started at -6? What do the Sharps know? I mean, look, it's yeah. I mean, what that means is that the general public is heavy on LSU, but there are massive sharp whale bets on USC. And again, I've said this multiple times. I don't think this is terribly hard to understand outside looking in. LSU has question marks all over the field. They've been really bad in season openers. The defense was so abysmally bad last season that, like, they were even worse than USC. That you would think Lincoln Riley maybe even better suited to taking advantage of a bad defense. They would a new OC for LSU, new quarterback, new everything. So I get it. I think it all just comes down to Blake Baker, right? That's what we keep talking about, Jake. Whether it's the computers doubting LSU, the video game, the Sharps, the thing that you can't quantify with numbers is what difference does Blake Baker, Bo Davis, and Corey Raymond make on this staff, and Kevin Peoples, and Jake Olson. What difference, how much of a difference can the new staff make? And that will decide the game.
Yeah, it's so hard to put a line on this game. And, like, I know Vegas is Vegas for a reason, but with so much new on both sides, right, where they were deficient, they completely overhauled it. Both teams did. So it is hard to pinpoint a number, a spread, whenever you just don't know. You haven't seen it. Like, you kind of know what you're getting. Even though Joe Sloan is a new offensive coordinator, you know he's going to stay pretty much in the same realm of what they've done over the last couple of years. And then you have a bowl game to go off of. Like, you know what Lincoln Riley's offense is going to look like. Like, defensively, you have no idea. So opening weeks are always tough to put a line on, but certainly when you have so much new on both sides who kind of mirror each other.
Yeah. A lot of new all over the field this game. You're absolutely right. Hashtag OTB Mailbag. Jake, how do I get 5 kids into the Nichols game? Where there's a will, there's a way.
5 children. Look, if you have a heartbeat, you got to have a ticket. Even if you're like a little newborn baby, that, you know, it's everywhere. You ever seen like the old cartoons where someone stands on somebody's shoulders and put on a trench coat?
Yeah, hell yeah, that's a good idea.
Just
like
have 2
rascals.
of those. Yeah, just do 2 of those.
It's a good idea.
And I think you can get 5 people in 2 of those outfits. I don't think
2
anybody
tickets.
will notice anything. You having a trench coat in Baton Rouge in September.
Do you have an exceptionally youthful face and very short arms for your height? Yeah.
Yeah.
But as long as you can balance, you're fine.
Nobody can call you out on that.
If you're playing Nichols, don't you have to go in groups of 5?
Dang, that was...
Well done.
You know what, Taylor?
Well done, Tay.
I've never been such a proud papa.
Well so done.
In all my entire radio life, Taylor.
That was great.
I won't even make fun of you for the rest of this hour. Unless I forget.
You only got like 25
But that's
minutes.
very, very well done, my friend. Hashtag OTB Mailbag. Favorite LSU game you were at where you were not a player?
Every one.
Favorite LSU game where you were not a player?
That you were at. Yeah, that you were at. So I don't know about at a game. I mean, I've formed a lot of like core memories at the Don Juan Whiskey and Wines. That Alabama win 2 years ago would be up there. My brother was in town. The whole bar was just like living and dying on every play the entire time. And when that 2-point conversion hit, that was just, I can't imagine what it was like in Tiger Stadium. Okay, maybe 2019 Florida, pretty electric. 2017 Georgia during the day.
17 was tight.
Beating their ass. It was pretty cool.
Like 19 away at Alabama was fun, but I think I'll agree with you. I think 2019 Florida, the student section was trolling Florida. That was kind of the game where you're like, oh, this is it. Like this team's winning.
Yeah.
Like this team's winning a national championship. The way they closed that game out, I mean, Clyde running a couple different ISOs. They couldn't, like, it was just perfect.
It was perfect.
So, yeah, 2019 LSU Florida. my favorite that I think I've been at where I wasn't a player.
Thank God for Dan Mullen just trying to make Emory Jones happen. That was the quarterback's name, right? He kept putting in for Trask, and he threw the pick to Stingley.
Yep.
All right. That's OTB Mailbag. More Brian Kelly sound when we get back.
Off the bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Sorry, my brain shorted out there. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. They're right there off of Airline and Goodwood, guys. Go see the sales staff, see what they can offer you. Remember, though, if you need a service center or a body shop, all makes and models are welcome. Doesn't have to be Toyota, doesn't have to be All-Star. What you do get is free professional estimates. You get a shuttle service. So my wife the other day dropped her vehicle off for an oil change or something, right? And she had to get home from work. What they do, All-Star shuttled her back. What they do when the vehicle's ready, they picked her back up. And that's not like for her, that's for anybody, okay? They also have rental cars right there on site if it's a big deal for cheaper per-day rental prices to traditional rental companies. So go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
When you go to the website, remember, you can rent any vehicle that they have. So if you need something bigger, better on gas, whatever, we always tell you if you want to rent something to watch the Tigers play, everything is available. Call Miss Lisa Sessions in the rental department today. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yeah, this is the type of vibe LSU needs to approach Sunday night with. Death metal, violence, blood and fire, pillaging. Won't say the R word, but pillaging. Brian Kelly.
Thank God you did not.
What defines, this is Kelly 10, Alondra, what defines success for this defensive line?
Do your job. This isn't that hard. They're physically strong enough to do their job, and I think Bo Davis has done a really good job of just focusing in on the technical pieces that they need to accomplish. And, you know, if you're a shade, play your shade. If you're a 3, play your 3. Let's do our job up front. I think we're talented at linebacker. I think we're talented off the edges. I think we're talented that we can get to our spots. We just need to do our jobs up front. And if we do that, and we're 1/11th of our defense, with our tackles in particular, we're going to be fine.
See, so tackles in particular, right? So again, Brian Kelly telling you he feels good about the edge. He acknowledges the tackles may not be a strength, but he doesn't think they're going to be a weakness either because they're finally getting good coaching. Bo Davis able to teach the technique that these poor guys have been denied for so long now. Here is Kelly 9 on the overall expectations for this new look defense.
This is all about how do they look against scripted plays and limited opportunities. And I know that our football team and the guys that we have feel really good about where they're at. But you got to go test yourself, you know, against somebody else to really be able to answer those questions. I know going in that we're prepared defensively. Our guys are excited about playing for Blake. I know that they get the scheme very well. There's not a lot of confusion. There's not a lot of busts. There's guys that clearly understand what it is to play LSU football.
Well, here's to hoping that that is true. If it is going to be true, one guy that's going to be key for both the defensive line and this defense overall is Jacoby Anguillary. Kelly feeling pretty positive about his senior leader.
He's been our best defensive tackle, our most consistent, starting with the tail end of last year, and that continued through the spring and into preseason camp. He's extremely strong, can hold the point, plays with great leverage and technique. He's really come along incredibly well in terms of the ability to use his hands and disengage and find the football. There's one thing to have strength, you know, at the point of the attack, but if you can't find the football, okay. You just hold the point. What he's been able to do is use great strength, and now he's controlling the blocker and finding the football. What do I think we'll see? He's going to make a lot of tackles.
Wow.
And that's saying a lot for a defensive tackle.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not normal. I mean, again, Brian Kelly, as honest as any coach that you will cover, going out of his way to say that. And that is not normal for a DT. Normally more like the O-line, clearing the way for the linebackers. But Kelly saying Guillory, a playmaker in his own right. Does having a veteran, this is...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Real quick, there's a couple things I wanted to hit on from some of that sound. Going back 2 answers, Blake Baker and not having, bust and not having guys kind of looking around, not wondering what's going on. Like, this is a team that is going to play a ton of cover 1 and a ton of cover 3 if they do what Blake Baker has done in the past, right? And sometimes for Matt House, NFL guy, he was doing a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was doing not exotic coverages, but coverages that had a little bit more moving parts. Like, cover 1's cover 1.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, hey, we got Jimmy's and Joe's. You do too. Let's see which ones are better.
Yep.
All right? I like that. I hate quarters, and Blake's going to run some of it, but about 10% of the time. So I love that. I think it takes some of the confusion out when cover 1's your lead coverage, and last year at Missouri, 31.4% of the time that was their lead coverage. And then going back to Guillory and that answer, I love that. That's what I tell. So Jackson, my oldest son, who's a giant, he plays nose guard. And I tell him that all the time. I'm like, yeah, it's great to blow everything up and push your guy into the backfield, but if your head's down, you can't find the football, what are you really doing?
Yeah.
Right? Sure, you're affecting the play, but you need to affect and then make the play. And so, like, to hear Tanks doing those kind of things, it might sound like, duh, but it's not. Some defensive linemen, they are so worried about pressing the guard and kind of just ducking their head and driving him in the background. It's like, that's a portion of it. You can hold point, but also we need you to make a play. It's what made 2 years ago Mekhi Wingo so good. he was so good at pressing out the guard and then throwing the guard and making the tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
And it's what made Mason Smith so ineffective last year. He would just sit there and hand fight. It looked like he had stick him.
He was more worried about
jersey.
The individual battle and what it looked like on tape than going to make the actual play.
Well, he wouldn't shed the guy. He would just keep fighting him.
And I didn't see that from him 2 years ago. So again, who knows what in the hell was going on in that room?
Yeah.
Because even Mekhi didn't do it like he did, and we know that's Mekhi Wingo's skill set. So yes, that was a big problem. It's like, hey, we're doing all this individual fighting. We're doing the big fake.
Yeah, the big
it's like, no, let's do that at the beginning and then get off and make the play.
All right, when we get back, hear what Kelly has to say about having a veteran like Nussmeier in this opener. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
Go to Go to oakparkevents.com. That's oakparkevents.com. Guys, Oak Park Events has 2 beautiful venues for you to check out for whatever you need. Weddings, corporate retreats, networking luncheons. We still got some dates opened up around Christmas if you want to go explore it. If you want to set up like a weekly, monthly networking sort of meal, well, guess what? Whatever food you want, it's all handled by Oak Park Events. And there's Oak Lodge with multiple different great venues, that more New Orleans feel. Wait until you see the Brass and Mahogany Bar. It is stunning. And then you got Park 73, a little more wide open, a little more outdoorsy. So again, you want to schedule a tour, you want to see more information, you go to oakparkevents.com. That's PARC. You can also see the packages as well as the venues right there on the website. Your home for your next big event. That's oakparkevents.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Now let's
It's about to kick off, this party looks whack. Let's take it back to straight hip-hop and start it from scratch. I'm about to bloody this track up, everybody get back. That's why my pin needs a pad, cause my rhyme's on the red hat.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Welcome back to OTB. Get ready to wrap up hour 2. So we're going to open hour 3 with Nick Underhill talking to New Orleans Saints. We also got to get to some Saints trade rumors, which Mailbag and Brian Kellystown kind of took over for this hour. So we'll just push it back to next hour. Real quick, do remind you, Community Steel Company already open for business today. If you need steel, you need purlin, tubing, roofing, sheet metal, steel buildings, any steel accessories at the best prices. You want to go to the local guys over there in Gonzales, Louisiana, where you're treated the correct way. You're not just a number on a spreadsheet or an online order form like you are these national guys. And because they manufacture the product themselves, right? The wholesaler, they get it from, they manufacture it. You get the best prices, which at the end of the day is probably the most important, though. I love the local human being sales team that you can form relationships with. They can better serve your steel needs. So go to communitysteelco.com, communitysteelco.com. Brian Kelly, does having Garrett Nussmeier remove any uneasiness about this opener?
Yes, I would say that, having a quarterback that has been in the system for the last couple of years, that knows what it looks like, what it's like to be in an SEC battle, is certainly, and has played in a game against a pretty darn good defense. I think that, those things make you feel a little bit more at ease going into these games. But openers are difficult, right? You practice so much, right? And then you got to flip it to performance. You have to execute at a high level in your opener. So I think every coach has that uneasiness in the opener because they don't know exactly what you're going to get when you flip that script. And, with Garrett, he's been in games. He's started games. He's played 4 quarters. So there's a better sense, but, we got to play a little bit more football.
No plan survives first contact. That's one of the best parts about a big-time opener is you have months of work, of daily work, thousands upon thousands of man-hours that are poured into trying to get ready for this 1 3.5-hour stretch of time that will take place. And if you're playing a team that you're clearly better than, it's kind of whatever, right? You have a bit of leeway. You can make mistakes. Everything's heightened a bit when you're playing another good team. And I love it because I think it forces you to lock in. I think it forces you to enter the season a bit more razor sharp. And I think it immediately teaches you lessons both good and bad. That'll be it for Kelly's Hub. We're going to talk to Nick Underhill. It's coming up next hour. But yeah, without a doubt, dude, having a guy like Garrett Nussmeier with that experience certainly helps you sleep a bit easier rather than working in somebody who's never started a game before.
Or hasn't been here, or hasn't, sat in meeting rooms with Heisman Trophy winners and all those things.
Yeah.
Everything that leads to Garrett being the guy finally.
And here he is again, his journey, years upon years in the making, his entire life spent getting to this point, going from being the man coming out of high school to sitting 3 years and yet staying the course. And now he has a chance in front of what is sure to be about 10 million people Sunday night in Las Vegas to kick off his legend in earnest. Nick Underhill coming up next.
Off the bench.
Go to K to Z Window Coverings, KTOZBlinds.com, KTOZBlinds.com. You want window coverings that, you want K to Z. I keep telling you to do what Jake did and get those drop-down exterior shades where it cools you off while you're outside, grilling, cooking. Maybe you're watching something on an outdoor TV. That's awesome. Also, take away the glare. It also cools the inside of your house, meaning you save on bills. It could also even help with the glare inside the house, depending on the makeup of said house. The point is, you know who understands all these dynamics way more than me and you ever could? K to Z. So you have them out to your home. They lay it all out for you. You make the call. Go to KTZWindowCoverings.com.
When you go there today, check out those exterior shades because I'm telling you, yes, it's going to make your outdoor space comfortable. You can actually hang out there. You can actually watch the game, but also what it can do for the interior of your home. I had no idea, but K to Z did, and they knew it in about 5 minutes walking into my house. KTZBlinds.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Tuesday, August 27th. Today in Baton Rouge, you expect cloudy skies with a high of 96. In hour 3 of today's show, Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football hops on the show, and we'll talk a little more New Orleans Saints and NFL as well. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Dude, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome in. Hour number 3 on a Tuesday. We started the way that we do every single Tuesday with our guy, Nick Underhill from New Orleans Football. And it is an especially good day to be talking to Nick. As well, for some it will be good. For others, it's a heartbreaking day. And it's a bit different nowadays as the New Orleans Saints roster will be cut down from 90 to 53. A bloodletting of about 50% of the guys. Nick is here to answer all of our questions. Nick, what's up, man? How we feeling?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing very well. Sure, you're happy to be back home. It is trim day. Before we get into,
he's not in a hotel room.
I know. Look at that. He's in those beautiful New Orleans football studios. Which, by the way, guys, sign up for New Orleans football. It's a site that I've been subscribed to for years. Him, Mike Triplett, Brandon Thompson do a really good job of covering this team inside and out. Give you all of your inside information. Before we get to the roster, who makes it, who doesn't, because there were some interesting consensus picks in y'all's pieces yesterday, Nick. We're through the preseason. My biggest takeaway is that, unfortunately, the O-line is every bit the Achilles heel that we thought it was going to be. What is your single biggest takeaway with this New Orleans Saints team through an entire preseason camp?
It's that. I mean, the O-line, terrified, frightened, concerned. All those words. Pick one, whatever one you want to use. I think it kind of describes the situation a little bit. I don't feel good about right tackle. I personally don't see how Penning plays week one. I just don't see how you make that decision. I think it has to be Uli Udoh. Credit to Penning. Like, I think this was probably the best game he played of the preseason. I think you did see progress probably week to week, just not enough. Like, it's just not enough to get there. And like, maybe week 7, week 6, week 4, week 12, he gets there. But I think on, September 8th, like I don't see it. I don't see it being there in whatever it is, 2 weeks. I just don't think he's going to be ready to play. I think you have to go to Udoh. Lucas Patrick still scares me, but I think he's going to start. I saw a couple things from Fuaga in this game that were a little bit concerning too, and I think he'll ultimately be fine. But I am curious to see, hey, what's this going to look like when teams are watching him and then they're game planning for him? And we're going to probably see a few more warts than we've seen so far. But I thought there were a few in this game. I know PFF gave Penning like an 86 grade. I vehemently disagray with that. Like, I just don't.
It's an 80.2. I'm looking at it.
Well,
yeah, I just don't. Run game, sure. Pass blocking, like
that's where run game was really high.
Like, he's got issues, and I think they got to figure him out. I would be incredibly surprised if Penning plays week one, just based on what we've seen. I just don't think you can do it yet. Yeah, they tried to give him every opportunity. They were careful with the situation not to rattle his confidence, and I think all that stuff was important. They gave him the best opportunity to succeed here. I think he needs a little bit more time. And like I said, there is some improvement. It's just simply not enough.
Nick, there's a position group that I don't feel like we're talking enough about, and it's really becoming a concern. And I'm sure that you've covered it from every angle. That's receiver, and not just like the third receiver anymore. I think it's everybody behind Chris Olave, because Rashid Shaheed just hasn't been out there. We've seen A.T. Perry flash, St. Brown flash in this game. Stanley Morgan played okay, but if you're counting on Stanley Morgan, no disrespect, I think you're in trouble. Where are you right now with the receiver room? Because I think there's major concerns.
Yeah, worried about that one too. I mean, look, the skill positions across the board with this team, I think they're one injury away from that kind of being the Jenga block that kind of crumbles things. And if you take out one of the top 2 receivers, if Juwan Johnson isn't good enough, if Alvin Kamara goes down, I mean, just across the board, I think you're in a lot of trouble really quick. I don't like the receiver room at all. I never did. I thought they needed a third guy the whole offseason. That was kind of on my must list. It was tackle and receiver. I don't think they ever answered that question. Shaheed missing all this time, I think, is a really bad thing, because as talented as he is and his ability to get open is great. Like, if you really go back and watch like his route running, like from last year, like I don't think it was where it needed to be. Coming out of his breaks and that, a lot of stuff's like rounded and sloppy and not necessarily on time. And this is a very on time system. It's pure progressions. It's 3-step drop, get the ball out when your back foot hits, and the guy has to kind of be there on schedule for everything to work as it's supposed to. And that's not how it's, went with him in the past. So that's big to me. I think Shaheed's probably gonna have a good year, but just missing this time, I think is a setback and maybe slows you down beginning of the season. I don't like it though. Like the third guy being Cedric Wilson, that's not a great situation. I like Cedric as a fourth. Like, I would like it much better if A.T. Perry was that third guy. I think Perry ultimately makes it on the team, but I think that's a discussion they're having seriously, last night into today, which guy's the last receiver to make it. I think they're going to have to keep Mason Tipton on the team. Just in terms of, if you cut him, I think someone's taking him. That was a guy, when they signed him, I heard from 3 different teams, they were like, man, that's the guy. Like, they were trying to get him. He ended up being, one of the higher paid rookie guys. If he gets cut, someone's going to pick him up. So I think he probably gets stashed on the team somewhere just because he truly is one of those guys that you can't sneak through. We like to use that phrase. He's one that I think really could get claimed. But I don't like the group. But St. Brown probably, I think, is someone that's like doesn't make the team, but hey, stick around. You're on the practice squad and you get elevated the first 2 weeks of the season, and then maybe he cycles up onto the roster. But yeah, it's not a great group. There's a lot of great 5 and 6 guys. There's not a lot of good 1, 2, 3.
So it's interesting then because there's some trade rumors going around today, and I'll ask you the veracity of this rumors. You said that in your absolute must needs, the Saints need a wide receiver, they need a tackle. They do neither. I mean, I guess in the draft they do get Taliesin Fuanga, but there seems to have been an overall kind of hesitance with the Saints this offseason, sort of going after that reset like we've talked about. Well, now there's rumors that the Texans may be shopping around John Mechie as they have an incredible receiving core where he's actually buried pretty deep there. Given the Saints' actions up to this point, how realistic is it that they would give up future draft capital to bring in Mechie this late in the game?
What kind of capital?
I don't know. What do you would have a better idea of like what the Texans would be asking for?
I is another 6 foot, 180 pound guy the answer? Like like they got a lot of those. There's a bunch of them around. Like at this point, like numbers are great. Like if you can add them, great. I would kind of hate to see him trade, anything meaningful draft wise for that. It just feels like he's another clone of what they kind of already have. But like if you got to go all speed, ready show on turf, like go ahead. Like it's better than what they have now. But I don't think they're going to be aggressive in trying to do anything like that. I mean, I think tackle is probably more of a likelihood of a potential trade. I think running back something that could maybe be more of a potential trade. If the right opportunity presents itself, sure. But I don't think this team's really in the position to trade away future assets for current glory. Like I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Like it's just that was months ago. Like when you're on that path. And my biggest pet peeve with the building of this team is kind of like, why isn't there that other tackle? Like why isn't there that Andrews Pete level player? Like if Pete just wanted to leave, great, let him go. But like this was something that should have been done a long time ago. At this point, it's just kind of like you are what you are. I wouldn't want to give up too much for another 6 foot guy. Like
so you would rather
right now, but like if it's not long term, what's the point? Like
right.
6'3" possession
so
guy.
Like
sure,
Tim Patrick, if he got released by the Broncos, Tim Patrick 6'4", 215. Reports are he's probably going to get released because they haven't been able to find a trade. Like you're looking for something more in that mold.
Yeah, something that's just a little bit, different. That gives them something that they're missing. And I would be more willing to give up an asset for somebody that's kind of part of like a long-term, like if you're long-term for wide receivers, Olave, Shaheed, like get me another piece that like fits in that and finishes it instead of like, let's just carbon copy the same guy 3 times.
Does Kendre Miller make this team? Interestingly, in yesterday's analysis, you, Triplett, and Thomas all saying no.
He's a hard cut. All I can do is go off of, everything we've seen and heard, even just publicly.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he's somebody that's going to be on the team. I think they're kind of fed up with it. He is injured, so like maybe it's an IR thing, and you go that direction and you try to bring him back later. I'm on the show every week. You guys heard me all offseason talking about how much I love Kendre's fit in this system. I like the Saints significantly better with him on the team. I like Kendre's talent. I like Kendre's talent coming out of college. But I think there's a lot of frustration with how the injury stuff's been handled. Going back to last year, he had the knee injury with the draft. I think the length of time it took to rehab that was frustrating. Then he had the injury in the season. I think the length of time it took to rehab with that was frustrating. Then there's another injury now, and I think it's more about the accumulation of frustrations more so than it is like any current event that's happening right now. But I think they're just frustrated maybe with how he rehabs.
Well, okay, and that's kind of what I want to dig into a little bit because injuries are injuries, right? So what is Kendre Miller doing to kind of increase that frustrations? Because it's like just trying to hypothesize. Okay, a hamstring day one, first individual drill. That could be awful luck, but are the Saints saying that they believe that he didn't come in ready? Like that his body wasn't ready to handle the rigors? Is it about him not approaching? Is he skipping rehab? Like, because injuries suck, and a lot of times they can be bad luck. But what about these injuries is making the Saints so angry with Kendre Miller?
I don't know specifically, but I think you can just look at how some of the injuries are talked about and how his injuries talked about.
I agree.
There's a significant difference. It's not like DA's up there pissed off at everybody that's hurt. It's one guy. Like, so it seems like there's something there, overall that they feel like isn't happening the way it's supposed to be happening. And this was probably like the line in the sand moment. It's a weird situation. Like, we saw him out there rehabbing a little bit out in California, come back and, haven't really seen much. Like, now that might be happening just at a different time of day outside our eyes. Maybe there's a different protocol now that they're back home and they're able to do different things to where like we aren't seeing them. So I don't know, but like, it doesn't feel like he's like close or on the horizon. I can't remember the last time I saw him, honestly. I think it was in California. It's just, it seems like they're incredibly frustrated with him. And I hate it because this run scheme, like we saw some of it in this last game, like it just seems like a guy that's explosive with speed, young legs, no mileage on him. Like, with this would be really, really exciting. And I think a young runner kind of brings life to an offense in a way that maybe like no other position does. Like when you have a guy that's like new, fresh, and good at that position, it just changes things. And I thought that was going to be it with him. I don't like the running back room without him. I like it with him. I don't really feel great about anybody. Alvin obviously being Alvin, but outside of that, like, I don't feel good about anybody else. And if Kendre's like there and he's good and he's healthy and he's what he's supposed to be and he's pushing Alvin, I think that's how this offense goes to the next level. Without him, like, I don't know. You're one injury away from it being an absolute disaster.
Nick, I want to ask you about Jordan Howden because you bring in Justin Simmons here in training camp. Maybe you were going to sign him. Didn't work out. He goes to the Falcons. Okay, but obviously he plays the safety position. And then also you look at this last game, Jordan Howden plays 36 plays. There wasn't any other starter out there. There was a lot of guys that average fan wouldn't even know who they are. Why does Jordan Howden play 36 plays in this last preseason game? Why do you bring in Justin Simmons? I thought Howden was a player they really liked. That's why you move on from Marcus May.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, end of last season too, they had them injuries, and then like it ended up being Abram playing more snaps. Like for whatever reason, there's something here where they haven't been able to like fully commit to him as the guy at that position. And I feel like this whole offseason was kind of about like keeping pressure on his neck a little bit, and they were trying to like push him to get something more out of him. I think come week 1, he ultimately is the guy that plays the most snaps. I'm going to actually be interested to see if Abram makes the team. Like, I think it's a conversation between him and Udo right now about who ends up making it. Kool-Aid's injury, I think maybe you need that guy that can play a little bit more at cornerback. So that's going to be fascinating to me, but I think that's a spot that's, it's another one. Like, it kind of feels like it's just left a little bit of a hole open there. And it's something that worries me a little bit, but I think if Abram's out there and he's playing, like, that limits what you can do with Tyron. And if you can't move Tyron all over the place and he has to be, the deep safety every single play, like, that takes away kind of from what makes Tyron a good player. So you got to find that right blend. Will Harris, obviously another option. I was pretty unimpressed with him overall throughout. I think he's someone that should make the team, but like as a starter, I don't love him. I love him as a rotational player. Howden though, like, it just never felt like there were any big moments in camp. Like, it just kind of felt like it was like right there on the cusp, and it never quite got all the way there. I mean, that's probably the one area of concern with the defense, I think.
Breaking news here, Nick. Mike Triplett of New Orleans.football reporting that Lou Hedley has been released by the New Orleans Saints. So
okay,
we'll let you go, as I know you got a big day. You got a lot to get to. Again, guys, New Orleans.football is the place to be today. Keep up. Well, I mean, really all season long, but especially today, it's going to be a flurry of news and activity. Nick, thank you so much, my friend.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Nick Underhill at Nick_Underhill. Again, Mike Triplett also under the New Orleans.football banner. Just breaking that news. Lou Hedley out. I liked Lou Hedley's story. I did not like Lou Hedley's puns. So I'm not terribly upset about that.
No, I mean, this was kind of something we talked about. I think it was yesterday. Like, that was a possibility. I just don't get the Jordan Howden stuff. And Nick kind of looked like he was like, yeah, that's kind of true. Like, why was Why was he out there? Think about, like, no other starters played in this game, and Howden plays 36 snaps. He's your starting safety, and he's out there with guys, again, Mike Rose, Jack Heflin, Cameron Peterson, names that nobody knows. And no disrespect to those guys.
A good name, though.
But, like, Howden's supposed to be your starting safety. You bring in Justin Simmons. You don't sign him. He goes to the Falcons. And also, like, Jonathan Abram, who would be the other safety, like, he played 21 snaps in this game. So it's not like he's just taking over as a starter. Like, I guess I just don't get it. And like, what are you gaining from him playing there? What are you looking to see? Because are you still waiting for him to prove something? You cut Marcus May because you felt like Jordan Howden could be the starter. He's the only starter that played, and he played almost the most snaps on defense.
I mean, they've made some interesting calls. I would still say cutting Will Lutz for Groupie was interesting. Gillikin for Headley. Didn't Gillikin end up having a good year last year, Blake Gillikin? And now already Headley's gone. So we'll see what other surprises DA and co have up their sleeves as Saints roster to continue to try to bring you all the latest. When we get back here on Off the Bench, just getting into some of those Saints trade rumors a little bit. We still got Tay-Tay's NFL story of the day. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the Bench.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, 225-888-8888, 225-888-8888. You need somebody who's going to fight for you, who's going to stand up to the big insurance companies to get you what you deserve. That's Gordon McKernan. You go right there online. You can fill out a free consult, and they'll get in touch with you immediately, or you just call 225-888-8888. Also follow them on social media at Get Gordon, where you'll see a lot of great content with some of your favorite athletes, all those members of the G team, as Gordon continues to be one of the main driving forces behind LSU's very successful NIL initiatives. Go to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys today.
GetGordon.com is the website where you can do it all. Ask a question, get a consultation set up, find past client results, cases they can handle for you in the courtroom. At Get Gordon is always the handle on all major social media. See, again, what T-Bob said, what they're doing in the community, what they're doing with your favorite athlete in Louisiana. If you're in Louisiana, put your area code before 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Ryan Smith says, whatever happened to the big Fave segment? Just too busy. Our guy Fave is very busy, but no, he'll be back on Friday.
Hello.
Football season. Also want to get BT involved one day during the week because Fave generally gives us a very good breakdown of kind of that front seven and what he's seen. We need to get his partner in crime and, the third musketeer of your LSU pre and post game, Brandon Taylor, as well. So going to have both of those guys on during the year. I agree. It's a very good song, guys. This is my old favorite pump-up song from before the games. Let's explore something that we asked Nick about a little bit right there, which was this idea of a John Mechie trade. He's having a very good preseason. Of course, Mechie, coming out of Alabama, battles leukemia, comes back, doesn't do a ton last season, but, coming off of battling leukemia, that's not any surprise. And he's done very well. Like I said, this preseason, he's been a dynamic playmaker. However, the Texans, just having an embarrassment of riches at this point, after trading for Stephon Diggs, now have Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. One of the most exciting receiving cores in the entire NFL. Mechie is their fourth best receiver, so he represents a bit of value to them.
They also have Noah Brown on that, who Taylor's going to know from Dallas. So even you can keep going down the list.
God, they got a lot of.
a lot of good. Robert players. Woods is still, if I'm not mistaken, still on that roster as well.
Insanity, right? So instead of releasing Mechie, the Texans are trying to dangle him out there, see if anybody wants him. Do you agree with Nick's assertion that he is not? Because I'll give you my initial reaction when I heard this. I would say, yeah, this is exactly what the Saints need because they might have the most boring wide receiver room in the NFL. There's just not a lot there. Really nothing outside of Chris Olave. I'm very down on Rashid Shaheed compared to what my offseason hopes were for him, given the injuries and whatnot. But I don't think this is going to happen because, again, the Saints have been relatively conservative this offseason. They seem to be hitting a reset button of sorts and giving up draft capital for immediate help would be at odds with every other action they've taken this off season. Also, you look at teams whose windows are maybe a bit more open, be it like the Ravens or some of the other teams that are being bandied about here, and they could drive up the price on this. So I thought it would make a lot of sense. I don't think it will happen. Do you agree, though, with Nick's assertion, Jake, that it's a bit too samey? That you're just getting another small, fast guy in this team. That's all they have right now are small, fast guys.
So I think if I had the option to be picky, yes, I would agree. But I don't think you have that option. I think if you have a talent out there and you could get him for what you consider on the cheap, then I think you have to explore that because your receiver room is just not good right now. We don't even know past Chris Olave because Shaheed's been injured. And after that, we have no idea. Even people that cover the Saints every single day, like they do over at New Orleans Football, they do a better job than anybody else they don't right now know who the 3, 4, 5. Like they're guessing and like projecting because nobody's taken that job.
Yeah.
Like I think A.T. Perry's done more than others, but you hear the coaching staff talk about A.T. Perry, and apparently he's not a good practice player, right? And so like that's the knock on him. I would take any talent that I can get right now. Like if you give me Mechie and I give you a late round draft choice, absolutely, let's do it. I need talent. I would love to have, like we talked about it earlier with the LSU tight end room. All three of those guys, super talented. All three of those guys, different skill sets. All three of those guys, different body types. You love that. You wish you had running back room at LSU. Same situation.
Yeah.
All those guys are different, okay? You like to have that, but if you don't have that option, you know what you better have? Talent. You better have a Jimmy and a Joe to go out there, and no matter what their skill set is, at least they have a skill set that can be NFL level, NFL ready. And it seems like Mechie is a guy that, he was a high draft choice, battled leukemia to come back and play football. Shows you, what the game means to him. And I think he's uber talented. If you can get him, you can't be choosy. Go get him.
So what would be a price that you would deem acceptable where you're not? Can you get above a four? Would you go above a fourth rounder?
I give him a fourth rounder. I think he is still a young football player. I think you still would have him. It still would be, I think, a future move. It wouldn't just be for right now. Like you would have multiple years.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I was a bit confused about. Is Nick's kind of framing it as a short term, but like. He's on the second year of a rookie deal. Was he a first-round pick?
This will be the third year, so you'd have this year and next year.
Okay. But still, a price that would probably not be driven up too high, maybe in terms of striking a second deal if things went well.
So he was a second-round pick, so he probably signed a 4-year deal.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4 years.
This will be the third year of that deal, but you'd have this year, next year, and also, you would have the ability to re-sign him.
Yeah.
You would have.
That's what I'm saying. And the
you
price
would be on the forefront
wouldn't
of
be too
of
crazy
teams on
if
his
it
mind.
went well.
No.
All right. So, look, maybe the Saints end up exploring Mechie. Maybe the price gets driven too high.
It seems it seems way more exciting than going to get a Tim Patrick, who I mentioned Tim Patrick because it sounds like the Broncos, if they can't find a trade partner for him, they're going to release him. And he is the different body type. He is 6'4", he is 215. But this is somebody that has battled injuries throughout his career. And I'm not just going to sign a Tim Patrick because he's 6'4", 215, because Mechie's 5'11".
Yeah.
I think Mechie's the more skilled player.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to add skill right now because I don't have the ability to go and handpick what I want.
God, Tim Patrick's got to be an all-time boring name. Like top 5 all-time.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick? What? That's crazy. Hey, speaking of crazy, how about Des Bryant? How about CeeDee Lamb? Taylor, CeeDee Lamb getting the second. Is this your story of the day?
No.
Okay,
I figured
cool.
we were going to touch it otherwise.
Yeah. Well, you do love to touch CeeDees. So 4 years, $136 million. Second highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. A $38 million signing bonus, $100 million guaranteed. He beats out Amari Cooper and Des Bryant significantly to become the most expensive Cowboys wide receiver ever. How is, as the local spokesman of Cowboys Nation, Tay, how are the Stars feeling?
You should feel really good. One, you got what is a top 5, top 10 wide receiver in the NFL locked down for long term, like you should have done all along. And outside of CeeDee Lamb, your pass catchers in Dallas, not great. I mean, it's kind of like the Saints, right? You know who your number one is, and you feel good about them. Behind that, I mean, you have Jalen Tolbert and Brandon Cooks are probably going to be your 2 and 3 this year. You had to get this deal done. There's a few deals they got to get done, but this one had to be number one, and they got it done. I'm excited.
Have you seen the Jerry Jones quotes that he gave to Dallas Sports and Clarence Hill Jr.? He said, I've done it all. So I have an ordinate, I think maybe it meant inordinate. I have an ordinate amount of confidence that and by the way, I'm gonna censor this, but you can fill it in, right? That if anybody can figure this crap out, I can figure out how to get it done. I've been there every which way from Sunday, and I've busted my ass a bunch. And there's nobody living that's out cutting and shooting that can't give you a bunch of times they busted their ass. So hell no. There's nobody that could effing come in here and do all the contracts and be a GM any better than I can. Plus, I'm where the buck stops. When it F's up, I got to cover it. And so there, you can't give anybody enough. Can't give. There's nobody can do it. Do you agree with Jerry Jones' assertion that nobody can do what Jerry Jones does?
No, because this franchise has been stagnant for so many years, regardless of who your quarterback and head coach
Most wins in the NFL over the past 3 years.
That's fine, but at some point you got to look and say, hey, we're capped. Why? Is it because of the head coach? Is it because of the quarterback? You've made multiple changes there. The one constant is Jerry Jones at GM, so I think that has to change.
Clarence Hill Jr. Does get to somebody's mentioning that he gets Jerry Jones to open up. This is true. It's because he's known Jones for a while. He's been a Cowboys writer since '97. I love this though. In his bio, it says battle tested, 7 coaches, 4 playoff wins. That is the legacy of the Dallas Cowboys post '97. 7 coaches, 4 playoff wins. And then he goes on to say countless scandals, controversies, and unfulfilled expectations. There you go, Taylor. That should be your title of your memoir. Unfulfilled expectations.
Yeah.
So you're feeling good, though.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You had to
back.
get CD done. That was
Stack back.
out of the big 3, if you will, as far as big name players that want new contracts. CD had to be the first one.
All right, when we get back here at OTB, we got Tay-Tay's NFL story of the day, plus the wins keep coming for the Jackets. More Off the Bench coming up next.
Off the Bench.
Go to Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com. PECbuilt.com is a website where you can see the gallery for the incredible work of Pinnacle Exterior Construction. I always push you to the site because, again, guys, the artisanship on display is going to blow you away. And you're going to start to fantasize about making your home the home you've always wanted to be. Because remember, at Pinnacle, they build the spaces, you build the memories. So whether you want a completely custom pool, maybe you want to choose from their spec pools, you have plenty of options to customize. Maybe you're building an outdoor kitchen, you want to put turf in your backyard, an outdoor living area, fences of any size or type, bulkheads, pergolas. There's only one answer, guys, and it's Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com.
That is commercial and residential. Always remember that everything T-Bob just laid out for you, they can do it at your home or your business. And check out the website. It's a great tool to kind of see exactly what they can do. Pools, outdoor living spaces, fences, bulkheads, artificial turf. They truly are a one-stop shop. PECbuilt.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
Sometimes you just feel tired, you feel weak. And when you feel weak, you feel like you want to just give up. But you gotta search within you. Try to find that inner strength and just pull that shit out of you.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Welcome back to OTB. How about this? Georgia Tech adding Christian Garrett to the 2025 recruiting class. Why this matters? This is a top 300 guy, number 7 tackle in the 25 class. Maybe most importantly, he was committed to Georgia. And then how about that? The Yellow Jackets now taking Georgia recruits. How about this, Drake? The 4th blue chipper in this Yellow Jackets class, which we already told you about a couple of weeks ago, was ranked 21st in the nation. I'm going to look up right now how much this made their ranking go up. Let's see.
Real quick.
20th.
Okay.
Now 20th in the nation.
That is great.
That's crazy.
That's great. I've always felt like Georgia Tech was a very cool campus, cool spot.
5 blue chip. Sorry.
What?
They have 5 blue chip.
I don't care about blue chip. I want to point out, though, in this game against Florida State, there was nothing fluky about what they did.
No.
We talked about it yesterday, but even like doing a deeper dive, like the film tells the story. Georgia Tech mauled them, didn't matter, up front, it was no contest.
Yeah.
But also, like, let's take a look at some of the other stats and analytics of the game, okay? Penalties. Florida State had 1 penalty.
Yeah, the face mask.
They had 1 penalty in the game. Georgia Tech only had 3, okay? No turnovers by either team.
Oh, sorry, Georgia Tech, Florida State.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
No turnovers by either team.
Clean game?
It's a very clean game.
Clean game.
Time of possession was 30 minutes to 29 minutes and some change, obviously, with some seconds.
That is shocking considering how long some of those Georgia Tech drives were.
And Florida State led with 30 minutes.
Wow.
Georgia Tech was 29 minutes, 21 seconds. Florida State, 30 minutes, 39 seconds.
What?
All right. So, like, and both were pretty good on money downs. Florida State, 5 of 12 on third down, 2 of 3 on fourth down. Georgia Tech, 5 of 9 on third down. Nothing about that game was fluky. There was no, they fumbled the ball 5 times. They threw 3 picks. They had SMU in Nevada had 11 penalties apiece. That's what you expect in week 0. That was a rock fight. That game was awful. The more and more that I watch this tape and you look at the analytics of the game, Georgia Tech went and won this in every single aspect. And honestly, if it wasn't for the 4th down conversions that Florida State got there on that last drive, it's not even in doubt at the end.
The craziest stat that I read yesterday on those first down runs, Tech averaging 3.2 yards per carry before contact. And I want to say that Florida State averaged 3.2 per carry for the game.
Yeah.
And in that same way, okay, so you say, well, okay, what was wrong then? Why do we think Florida State was going to be such a big favorite? What happened here?
I was surprised the number got up to 11, but yes,
no, look, we said it. We bet on Georgia Tech.
Yeah, a lot of people, yes, agreed with the line.
But how did it get there? It's because you can't account for the defensive improvement that you saw out of Tech.
Yep.
So it's the exact thing that you're hoping for LSU against USC. The numbers, the computers, you cannot reflect how much a scheme will make players who have looked bad in the past look better. And so I take a little hope and heart in what you saw to Tech for LSU. Hey, guys, I want to remind you that the Queen here in Baton Rouge is your football headquarters this fall. You can catch all the games in over 50 screens at either the new 1717 kitchen. It is fantastic. Cocktails, incredible television and food setup as well. Or you just head over to the DraftKings Sportsbook. Super chill lounge area. You gamble right there, get your winnings right there. You know, it feels a little more satisfying than just numbers on your phone. $3 drafts and a ton more drink and food specials. Visit thequeenbr.com for more details. Of course, you must be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. We'll be out there for the opening NFL season for Ravens Chiefs on Thursday if you want to come hang out with us at the Queen right here in Baton Rouge. Completely renovated. Looks awesome. Tay-Tay, give me your NFL story of the day.
It's time for Tay-Tay's NFL story of the day.
Yeah!
Your daily dose of NFL news from Taylor Sharp.
She said it.
I know. How about that? Progress, T-Bob. One word at a time. Okay, so we all know about the New Heights podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they've reached new heights. Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, they just signed a deal with Amazon that is reportedly worth over $100 million for 3 years. It gives exclusive ad sales and distribution rights to Wondery, which is owned by Amazon. Well, it's a podcast they started back in 2022, and we've seen all the clips of it. One of the most popular ones out there, and now they are $100 million richer, or $50 million since they're splitting it from.
Hey man, look, Trav's got to try to keep up with Tay-Tay. You know.
He got a long ways to go.
I don't know if he'll ever get there.
Well, I mean in terms of funding the lifestyle that is required to keep up. Not that he will ever touch her. No, please, come on. It's never going to be close in terms of overall net wealth. But, I mean, what were the Laundry? Maybe you know the rumors, like the rumors of how much money he was spending in the dating process per month. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it real quick and see if you can find me a number.
It was absurd.
Because there were some.
Taylor?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that it's true. I just remember, like, you know, talking to people and then being like, I heard he's spending, 100 or however much. So, hey, you know what? If you're Jason Kelce, makes a decision to retire a little more validated, you know? How crazy is that? You put all your body on the line for freaking 13 years, 15 years, whatever it was, and then you make more money than you ever did playing football just speaking into a microphone.
You and your brother chopping it up.
Just chopping it up.
According to a report from Life and Style magazine, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce spend a reported $100,000 daily on everything related to their relationship. Most of the money they are spending is on private jet expenses. Okay,
What?
so I'm supposed to listen to climate change stuff from somebody who takes private jets like that.
Oh, my word.
$100,000 a day is insane.
Yeah, I mean, that actually makes the $100 million for New Heights seem like unsustainable.
Yeah.
Like you're going to need additional forms of income.
After the first year, Travis is going to come back to the table and be like, guys, can we renegotiate? We got to have this.
Oh, my God. That's crazy, man. Shout out Jason and Travis. So Jason definitely kind of one of my spirit animals and muses, if you will.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
My
Unless you're
God.
dating Tay-Tay.
I mean, still. Ooh.
I feel like that's still a lot of money.
$100 million?
But I guess I can't fathom it because
No.
I don't know.
No.
But I'd
So,
be happy if I had $100.
I mean, that's over $3 million a month. So we're talking about 30+ million on dating in a year.
36 million?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually know this.
Bad
In
at
2024, they were awarded Podcast of the Year. So,
By
Not
who?
surprised.
iHeart Podcast
What is the
Awards.
podcasting governing body?
It says iHeart Podcast Awards.
Okay, cool.
Gave them Podcast of the Year.
Shout out.
I think
P
It was
of the
like
year.
number one for the longest time.
I want to say
Call that the pody.
I want to say my sister-in-law's podcast was actually up for that,
Oh, wow.
and they lost. Yeah,
To the Kelseys.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
her pod?
Rigged.
Scrubbing in.
Is it about like doctors?
They're
Cleaning.
Grey's Anatomy is where they got the name
Oh.
from. Yeah, I think they've actually won an iHeart podcast.
Is it a Grey's
award.
Anatomy podcast?
That's what it started as, and now it's just
Oh, okay.
you know, general stuff.
All right, when we get back, let's close out the show a little Ask the Bench.
Off the bench.
Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. GEAUX Tommy's.com. GEAUX Tommy's.com. Go to Tommy's today for your hardy plank and vinyl siding, wood or vinyl windows, any type of door. Take advantage of Tommy's near 30 years in this game, guys, where, for 20 of those years, he worked for somebody else, learned the game top to bottom, said, there's some stuff I do differently. So he done struck out on his own, and he done made it, and that's why they're so successful. Tyler partnered with OTB because their customers are so satisfied. Winners of the Angie Service Award every year. They've been in existence. A super service award. So I'm so confident in Tommy and his licensed, bonded, and insured team. Go get you a free estimate and make them one of the bids in your project and let them show you why they are the answer for your next big deal.
So when you go to the website, you'll see exactly the work that they can do, but always remember, right? If you have a custom job, they can come out and they can give you that as well. Go check it out online, gotommys.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey now, welcome back, OTB, T-Bob Alondra, and Taylor hanging out with you. Time for some Ask the Bench. Brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Visit Yard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky. Citrus Sweet. Swifties are a cult. True or false? True.
False.
Ask the Bench. Was T-Bob upset that the Wonderlick test didn't involve him licking anything? I don't know what I got on the Wonderlick. Do you know what you got? Somebody asked and Ask the Bench.
20-something, yeah.
Ask the Bench. Why does the new voice lady yell at us? She's a dom. And you love it. You little beta subby. Crawl over here. Ask the bench. When is Hester going to make a visit to Snaps so he and Aaron can get into it? Jake's come on Snaps before. I don't know. Have you ever come on when Aaron's been on there? Yeah.
I filled in for you.
Yeah.
I was on the road covering something, and Aaron, God, where were you? I don't know, but I did it from my hotel room, whatever event I was at for Sirius. So, yeah, I've done it. You and I have shared a couch.
Yes, I remember that.
Doing an episode.
Fontes asked the bench, Jake, do you know all the crap T-Bob was talking about you on Snaps yesterday because they were talking about blue chip, and I had your back?
Like me specifically, or?
I was not talking crap about Jake.
Or just
I said
like,
that you hate blue chip ratio.
It feels like there's more to this.
Nope. I said you hate blue chip ratio.
What else?
And the person was asking about blue chip ratio, and I was just saying, well, it's all just about how you apply it. The same conversations that we've had.
Yeah.
I just said that you got
I just don't like it as the
blue chip on your shoulder from high school.
Like it as the deciding factor, and I think like a team like Michigan, like sure they're over 50%, but like we're acting like that's one of the top in the country, and it's not. I just think there's teams that can go out there and win it that don't have, but it's not. But you know what I mean? It's not.
It's not the top. No, definitely not.
It's not like I don't feel like getting.
Yeah,
into
no,
this.
we know exactly. We've already we both have said our piece on this. Asked the bench, has T-Bob ever taken an IQ test? No, I don't believe in IQ tests. I think it's impossible to make a test that is just an even metric of measuring human intelligence when everybody comes from different backgrounds and levels of education. You can't tell me somebody with elite education wouldn't do better on an IQ test than somebody without. And I know in theory that's what the IQ tests are supposed to be able to achieve. I just don't know that I believe that they can. Ask the bench. You only have one for the rest of your life. Po' boys, gumbo, crawfish burls, red beans. It's not even close. Gumbo.
Yeah, I think I agree. Gumbo.
It's my favorite food.
God,
ever.
that is. Ooh.
You're gonna hate this answer. Po' boys for me.
I don't hate that answer
I
at
don't
all.
hate any. You
love
could have
a
answered
fried-
anything.
I
and
love
I'd have been
the
like,
only thing
okay.
I wouldn't actually like is, I mean, and maybe it's because I don't order at restaurants, and so I just like heating up at home's kind of bad. I mean, red beans are fine. Like really good red beans restaurant, pretty good, but
Like you can have some bad red beans for sure.
I'd take po' boys, gumbo, and burls over red beans. Me.
Yeah. Crawfish boils are also for the vibe.
Yeah.
And the fellowship.
Gumbo, but gumbo has the vibe and the best taste.
Yeah.
Ask the bench.
Bailey Zappi got released.
Crappy. Do either of you ever YouTube yourself? T-Bob postgame interview after the Tennessee win came up my feed yesterday. Young T-Bob was hilarious. That's funny. I've not seen that. Wonder what.
YouTube myself? No, I didn't know. It'd be real grainy if you're talking about playing days.
Unfortunately. Hashtag asked the bench. Have you ever podcasted from the cuck chair? I don't think so. I tend to read in the cuck chair. Do you know what that is, Jake?
Nope.
It's that chair in hotel rooms that are just kind of sitting there, staring at the bed.
Okay.
Have you?
I don't
ever podcasted from the chair?
No.
Do you sit at the desk when you go live in a hotel? How do you set up?
Yep. The desk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Which I'll be doing Friday in Vegas.
Are you going to do off campus from there?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, check it out. Off campus. Snaps coming up at noon. Off campus this afternoon. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you later.
Off the bench.
AccuTemp of Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com. Guy sitting in the chair doesn't make you the what the chair says. That's just the name of the chair.
It felt like somewhere I didn't want to cross, and so I
no, I know, I can tell it. I'm saying no. We're not saying that you are because
about.
you sit in the chair. It's just that could be a use for the chair.
Okay.
The use for AccuTemp is any problems that you have with your AC system, your heating system, electrical systems. Maybe you want to get a whole home generator put in. Okay. They give you a free estimate, tell you exactly how it all works. The bottom line with AccuTemp, you get service to the highest degree and they mean that ish. Look at the online review, guys. AgtNPR.com, AgtNPR.com.
Anyway, when you go to the website, remember you can schedule your appointment right there online and know exactly who is coming into your home because they're going to send you a profile of who is coming into your home. AgtNPR.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light, choose chill.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.